Okay, and back. Hey, Brody does something. Just watching someone play a Wani mod. Yeah, that is a coincidence. Okay, back to where we left off. Hey, Doodle Deer. Good to see ya. Once everyone else has left, he closes the class door and locks it. So, care to explain? Explain, sir? He opens the door in the back and signals Olivia to come on out. The mud, the drenched clothes, the declaration of sanctuary. I was having a bad day. She's looking a bit better, still drained, but she's not shivering. Her rat sits on her lap, and Iadican extends a finger down to scratch under its chin. I can see that. He takes a seat against a nearby desk and waves a hand for Olivia to go on. When she doesn't, he shifts his hand to me. He shifts his hand to me. I look between the two of them. Mr. Iadican's expectant leer. Hey, Chaos Wolf. Good to see you too. And Olivia's pleading eyes. Ultimately, I shake my head in the negative. I just helped Olivia get out of the rain. Of course. He slouches further atop the desk. Can I tell you some other time? Sure. Whatever it was, it looks like you've recovered pretty well. Olivia doesn't answer verbally, instead giving him a bashful smile and a nod. Was it about your work again? Yeah. Oh, this girl. He turns to me and points a thumb at her. You know, the work she's so concerned about absolutely wrecks the grading curve in my class. For the sake of the other students, I had to put a limit on extra credit assignments. Really? Yeah, never before would I even consider such a restraint. Why punish someone for working too hard, I would think to myself. Then, 4 years ago, this little green goblin comes rolling into my class. Half a semester and more than a few angry calls from parents later, my hands were tied. The young lady simply does too dang much. Olivia smiles, but doesn't look up from her pet. It was that much better than all the other students? Well, no, I don't grade by technique. If I did, you'd be in big trouble, Inko. Olivia's work was very good even then, but the main thing I admire is how motivated she can be. I haven't seen someone so enthused to just paint in years. Certainly I haven't seen anyone so enthused that I had to change the rules like that. You were worried it'd stop me. Was I? That definitely sounds like me, but it didn't stop you, not even a little. Heck, that year you even got me to see some things differently. I don't think I ever did anything like that. You did when you came in after class the Friday before Mother's Day. Take a look at this. I'm handed the quill pen, and the first thing that I note about it is how soft the feather portion is. It's the special pen you always use. It's actually from my wife. Whoa. Inspecting it closer, I can now see more of the intricate details. From the faded engravings on the shank to the maintained but worn point. It's well made and kept, and yet the feather and brass showed its age. She came in that afternoon with a whole stack of crumpled painting drafts, so frustrated she couldn't get it right, and so determined to make it perfect. I say, any of these would be great, your aunt would love any of these, and she fires back, if it's not good enough for me, why would it be good enough for someone that I love? I did not have an answer. So I tell her to take a step back. We take a few hours to go over fundamentals once more, I send her home to try getting it right over the weekend, and come Monday she returns and hugs me, first thing. That Friday night, though, what she said was on my mind. I talked about it all night with my wife. Then that morning, I decided to make a change for myself. My wife was molting at the time, so there was always a new feather or 3 in our blankets each morning. I took the biggest one, preserved it right, got a bit of help to make it into a real pen, and I've used it ever since. It helps me to remember to do my job right, for the people that I care about, and for the people that my students care about. I think what it was, it's like that childlike reasoning that comes so naturally for the youth. That reasoning, it makes a type of innocent, earnest dedication, something I think I lost for a while. Don't give me so much credit. You haven't lost it, have you? Good. Don't lose it for me, okay? Okay. Iadican yawns and stretches. You're feeling alright to go to your next class? Yes, I'm ready. Great. He claps a hand over my back. We should do this again sometime. Mr. Iadican ushers us out of the classroom as the late bell trills, handing us a note he rapidly scrawled on. Miss Prockling didn't seem enthused to see us come in late, but sighed as she read the late note from Iadican. I took my usual spot. As I took my usual spot, I felt something odd in the corner of my eye. Looking up, it was to see Olivia looking my way, with that smile on her face. One that spoke so many words, yet I couldn't figure out what. All I could do in turn was to try to match it, before focusing on Miss Prockling's latest lecture. As more time passes, the art contest fades into the background. Last week I had a scare when Principal Scalar called me to her office. I feared that they figured out what Olivia did and assumed I was part of it, just as she predicted. Luckily, that wasn't the case. Instead, she wanted to inform me that they had no leads as to who could have done the swap, and since it was tampered, it'd be removed from the contest. No skin off my back, honestly. As compensation, she gave me one of the runner-up prizes, a coupon for some pizza from some Italian restaurant called Dynamo's. Not the biggest pizza fan, but not a bad prize to get after all of this. Saving it for a rainy day. However, I found myself in a conundrum of my own doing. My peers' concerns about my entry were resolved, but I hadn't accounted for the new questions about my portfolio. Brody... Inko is paler than Anon? Ironic. Huh. I mean, he probably goes outside... Wait, no. Neither one of them goes outside. That's interesting. My paint portfolio. The few times I showed off my photography work, they'd be mildly impressed at best. They were never upfront about it either. No, instead I got the runaround. Oh, yeah, those are nice, Inko. Not bad, but, what about what you did for the contest? I can't even be mad about it since it's just another misunderstanding, unintended lie from my side of things. But then I had a thought. What if it wasn't a lie? What if I was actually good at painting? Yes, Gwimbly? And after working for the past month... Yeah, no, I can't unscrew this. For the past 3 weeks, I've been staying after school, making use of one of the club rooms to practice. Yeesh, Inko, did you listen to any of the tips I gave you? Using everything I had at my disposal, namely textbooks for Iadican and how-to tutorials online, I'd stay as late as possible to try and get the same skill level as Olivia. And as I stare at the horrid acrylic monstrosity before me, I can do nothing but weep at my own inadequacies. Not actually weep, but squinting at the Lovecraftian horror before me, and I can maybe see a little progress drowning in the madness of excessive paints. Olivia had made good on her promises to teach me around the time when I asked Mr. Iadican to borrow keys to the spare room. And while I memorized all of her teachings down to the letter... Gwimbly is going to incriminate you? How? What am I even looking at? Are you trying an abstract sort of thing here? It was an attempt at a self-portrait, actually. Could probably post it online and some rich asshole would buy it. Is that good? No, never trust the opinions of people on the internet. I learned that the hard way. After a brief period of awkward silence, I let myself collapse on the stool behind me and toss off the oily apron in frustration. At this rate, I'm going to be a double fraud or something. Splat. I don't even have the energy to get angry. Probably looks better now, at least. How did Olivia get so good at this? Olivia, please, you've got to have some actual advice for me. She quietly hums to herself, slipping away a notebook she had splayed across her lap into her nearby bag. Well, when I want to draw, it's usually because I've got something on my mind. What, like inspiration? Kinda. More so that I just envision something, and I want to put that on canvas. Muse then. I don't really get it, but the door of the studio flies open and Damien quickly storms inside. Inko, Olivia, are you guys here? He takes heavy breaths as his vision darts around the room. After a moment of surprise, I raise my arm to catch his attention. Can he not see them because they're not moving? Damien, what's wrong? The hyperactive Dilophosaurus spots me, taking a final breath before jogging over. Guys, I need to ask you something. What? Is everything all right? Is something happening? I can't help but panic. I've never seen Damien this flustered. Do you want to come to the arcade with me and Liz? Is that it? Yeah, that's what I said. Wait, when was this decided? I thought something bad had happened. Nope, just asking. Just asking. Liz already has the car prepped and everything. Oh. I probably should have expected that, but still. Splat. How did you know we were here? I didn't. I just kept opening doors until I found you two. I've been at it for a while, actually. Damien's eyes dart to the canvas that lies on the floor next to me. You working on your next masterpiece? Oh, painting sideways is probably one of your trade secrets, huh? Olivia hides her snicker with her hand. Don't worry, I won't tell a soul. Yeah, that's right. Don't tell anybody. I lean down to pick up the canvas and place it upright, deciding to remove the ugly painting and place it in the corner of the room to dry. Anyway, how about it? To the arcade? The olive baryonyx fidgets, her brow lowered in contemplation as she considers the question. The arcade, it's not like I had other plans today. Sure, why not? Alright, let's go. Wait, don't just... Inko, Olivia, there you are. Damien was taking so long to get you, so I was about to come find you myself. This time both Damien and I were wheezing for air. Despite Olivia's protests and hesitation, Damien had wasted no time in grabbing her by the handlebars and sprinting to the exit. I had chased after them, all the while Olivia screamed like a banshee as she was pushed through the hallway at a breakneck pace. Yeah, just... I take a deep breath and stand upright. Olivia's claws have dug into her armrest, and she's definitely trying to kill Damien with her glare, which he happily ignores. Why didn't you just message me or something? I wanted to, but didn't want to ruin your concentration, man. So instead you kicked the art room door open. Yup. Liz had the good grace to look embarrassed on Damien's behalf. But yeah, gave you a little bit of extra time, right? You've been staying late forever now. I can't hide the wince. It hadn't occurred to me that more people would notice. Ah, relax, not like you're the only one. Yeah, I sometimes need to stay behind for student council and art club meetings. Right, sure, so, come on, the car's in the student section. The Dino duo start towards the student parking lot, heading towards a rather old but well-kept sedan. Olivia grumbles silently to herself, but follows after, nonetheless. The arcade portion is the least interesting part for you, except for the part at the food stand. Fair enough. I think it's pretty neat. Hey, Andrew Parsons. Meep. Come on, dude. It'll take a few minutes to get Olivia in, and then 30 to get to the arcade. It does lead to the Inko lean scene, though. So, that's pretty cool. It won't take that long, damn it. Olivia huffs and wheels herself to the passenger side, opening the door for herself. Do you need any... It's fine. To punctuate her statement, Olivia uses her strong arms to lift herself onto her armrests. Then, with more grace than I thought possible from the olive-scaled girl, she manages to flop down into the passenger seat. I stare at the abandoned chair, wondering where to put it. I've got room in the trunk, Inko. Clunk. The trunk lid pops up with a heavy thunk to punctuate that. It takes me more time than I'd like to figure out how to undo the locks to actually collapse the chair, but once it's done, I'm able to slide it into the spacious storage area easily. Damien had already hopped through the window of the front passenger seat by the time I'm done, as if he'd practiced the maneuver. Clack, clack, clack. I simply open the door behind Liz's seat and watch as a pile of soda cans empty onto the pavement below. Sorry, those are from this morning. I just toss them into the back seat when I'm done. I'm surprised Liz doesn't make you use a bag. I do. Damien pulls up an overflowing plastic bag as if it were a trophy. Why haven't you tossed all those bottles out already? I'm saving them for a project about recycling. Plus, I'm also going to use a couple of them for a sculpture. Saves me the trouble of going out and finding aluminum. And I get to drink as much soda as I want. I don't really say anything as Damien scoops out the rest of the cans from the floor of the car and puts them in a new bag, which he then stuffs into the car's trunk before giving me and Olivia a thumbs up. Alright dudes, we're good to go. I nod and slink into the semi-clean seat. My hand... Foley. My hand searches for the buckle of the seatbelt and brushes against something warm and soft. There's a tiny gasp next to me, and the comfortable mystery in my hands is yanked away. Huh? I look to Olivia, her hand held to her chest. Her green face has a scarlet tinge, and her mirror-shade eyes glare holes through my head. You okay? The emerald-scaled girl turns her maw from me. I stifle a mystery chuckle at that. The warmth on my palm fades, however, and leaves my hand feeling lost. Okay, all the safety checks are done. Liz gets in the driver's seat and grips the steering wheel. Outside, she's craning her neck to check on the mirrors and tires. Wait, Liz drives with her head sticking out of the window? Liz pokes her head in. What's that? Her neck snakes inside and coils around the hook in the middle of the car. Then, with practiced motion, her neck continually coils till her head sits atop the neck roll, as if no different from someone putting on shoes. It kinda looks like a giant scale-covered scarf. There's even still enough space for her to see the windows and check behind her. A weird-looking cat appears. You like hugging gators, don't you? We are close to the most iconic moment and line of this game. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I'm not sure about the weird-looking cat meme unless you're talking about the "Hey Ma, there's a weird cat outside" guy. It wasn't anything important. Alright. But, the city, right? I'd actually been wanting to see it a bit more up close for Yadikan's class. Do you know how much gas money it'd burn through to take a detour around here? No? Good, because neither do I. Let's do it. Hey, wait, no. I barely have enough as is. The view on the way's fine. I'm looking forward to it as well. You sure? Yeah, I'll point out some stuff I remember along the way. You're my tour guide now? Don't make me change my mind. Glad that's settled. Everyone buckled in? Liz pulls away from the school parking lot, starting down the opposite direction I'd always entered and exited. Weird to think, but the edge of my world was as close as a right turn out of my own school. Then again, I still haven't been living here long. Anybody want a station? I don't think I've ever listened to the radio here either. Liz and Olivia hardly seem to glance in Damien's direction as well. Suit yourselves. Within the span of a few seconds, am I gonna have to turn... Hang on a minute. Is the sound levels okay? Within the... Can Liz even breathe with that thing? That looks so painful. Andrew's talking about the boy kisser meme that's popular in the furry fandom. Ah, okay, not familiar. God help Liz if she tries to take a drink that way. How the hell would she swallow? Within the span of a few seconds, the natural ambience of the road is replaced with the loud sound of decades-old rock music, sending vibrations throughout the car and everybody in it. Just as fast as it comes, however, it stops as Liz haphazardly yanks the volume knob counterclockwise, toning the music down to a bearable level. Damien frowns for a moment, but he doesn't seem to contest her decision. What the... I turned off all the notification stuff except for messages and calls, and between all the people I messaged, there's only one who isn't inside the car. Checking the screen, I see... Any song request, man? Seriously? I don't know, Damien, so long as it isn't twangy country shit. Sure, sure. Wait, you've been texting? How long? Yeah, since like the first week of school. What the heck, dude? Let me see your phone. I hand it over on the contact creation page. She taps the first few numbers and pauses. Then she sheepishly yanks her phone from her coat pocket. She doesn't know her own number? Olivia finishes tapping her number in and hands it back. She's entered herself as Live Long. Huh, sounds vaguely oriental. Vaguely ethnic. Zzz. Test. Yep, got it. Zzz. That was uncalled for. That's why I sent it. She giggles at her own joke, and despite being the butt of it, the mood in the car is too high to hold it against her. Before long, the dense forestry starts giving way to more urban developments. More and more decorative palm trees start dotting the paths as well. The silhouette of the city gets closer as we approach one of those spaghetti junctions heading up to it. Yep. The result of decades of poor infrastructure decisions, multi-million-dollar projects promising to fix all the traffic if they just built one more overpass. Olivia's paying close attention to her phone. She scrolls lazily through some forum. What's so funny? Oh, nothing. Hey, Lizard Lounge? Oh boy, you're still browsing that, Olivia? Yeah? What is it? Don't tell him! It's this weird exclusionary chat room. They only allow dinosaur women, men, and rather specifically human men are banned. Racial segregation? Hold for applause. Olivia showed me once. The people on it are really weird. Humans are banned? You weren't supposed to tell him. It's the last safe house for us on the internet. I think there's probably better places for that online for you to associate with. Tell me about the racial segregation. It's not that. It's just how it has to be for our safety. Some dino girl can be doing anything at all, and there's always at least 3 guys in the comments saying, she looks like... Don't say it. They also really bring down the quality of the site. Look, it's explained in the rules that humans have 1/5 the attention span of dinos. Liz groans while Olivia shows me her phone. The graph is blurred to all hell and I can't make out most of the text. I don't know how I feel about all this. What's not to get, Inko? Think about it. You're in history class. It sucks, so you just remember, wait a second, I'm human, and stop listening. I wish I could do that. According to Lady Hitler here, you can. It's just a funny group of women like me. Lay off, let me have it. You don't really believe in that stuff, though, do you? Not really, it's just the rules of the place, alright? Okay... Olivia sticks the phone back in her pocket with a huff. Was the ride to the arcade always this long? I think we're about 20 minutes away from the arcade still. Don't worry, Inko, the water fountains are integrated. Shut up! Damien cackles to himself. Alright, I hope the place still sells those hot dogs for just $1. There's no way anyone anywhere sells hot dogs for $1 anymore. Yeah, but they did. It was great. Olivia and I would save our lunch money to just go there instead after class. I don't think I'd trust it if it were still that cheap, honestly. I'm half convinced that Damien one day gave his casual acquaintance Liz a serious neck massage after a long day, and that was the moment she decided she was going to marry him, Dimble be damned. I want to hug that blue boy. Thanks. You ate a dog off the floor once. That's different. Damien fills the air with old tales of his and Olivia's adventures in the arcade. She'd occasionally chime in to correct him on whatever over-embellishment. Even as the last remnants of suburbia melt away and skyscrapers overtake our view of the outside world. Finally, I'm in the big city. Here we are. I'm almost disappointed when we pull into the arcade parking lot. Large glass windows covered in sun-bleached promotional leaflets adorn the front of the arcade, and the building itself looks a couple of decades old. This place was probably successful in the past, but I can only imagine they break even nowadays. Though maybe the recent resurgence of the retro deco could change that. I can show you more on the return trip, come on. Message retracted. It's a fact that humans have only 1/5 the attention span of dinosaurs. Inko was looking at her chest. What was that? Maybe it's just the male humans. I guess she must have seen my brief hesitance. Liz unlocks the trunk, and I hop out to get Olivia's chair. As I attempt to heave the thing out of Liz's trunk, it takes considerably more effort than I'd like to admit. Now, how do I unfold this blasted thing? I think there's a release button, right? As I check to make sure that all my fingers are intact, I can see Olivia snickering through the passenger window. Inko-san, you have much to learn. Observe. Olivia makes sure the brakes are held and heaves herself over in one motion. The chair is forced open by momentum alone with a loud crack. She gracefully rolls by me, tongue stuck out in smug victory over my ineptitude. Ready. Sweet! Damien hurries us inside, and I can tell he's the most excited to be here out of anybody. Yeah. Dude, this place is the bomb! There's a bomb! Ah! We used to scrounge for change to come here after school. The place is abuzz with activity, flashing machines all competing for attention, and gamers excitedly conversing. I lean in a bit closer to Olivia. It's pretty dang loud here. You gonna be alright having to speak up more? Huh? Of course I am. What do you take me for, a kid? Sorry. I appreciate the concern. Liz scowls as she peels her boot from the floor with a loud Ugh. Damien, you could have warned me about... Damien's taken off towards a nearby coin machine, fistfuls of bills at the ready. I could have told you too. I've been here before. So why didn't you warn me about the stickiness? Olivia shrugs. Liz's head lowers to bridge of snoot pinching levels. Well, you two did kind of drop this on me last minute. But I still remember this place pretty well. Great, you can show Inko around and I'll go with Damien. Liz meekly puts her pointer fingers together as she looks at the salmon-frilled teen. Those two-player gun thingies look fun to try out. You mean the light gun games? Yeah, those ones. I can't put my finger on it, but something tells me that Liz was banking on splitting apart from the start. Though it would give me ample opportunity to have some time alone with Olivia. Just to get to know her more, of course. Liz, I think I broke this one's joystick. Liz sighs heavily through her nose. Seriously, Damien? Oh, come on. It's perfectly even and fair. You sure about this, Liz? We could just all stick together. The long-necked dino looks around the arcade nervously. As much as I want to protest the suggestion, it might be for the best. Liz wants to stick with Damien, probably to make sure he doesn't do more damage. And Olivia knows this place as well, so she'd know all the best games. We've already been spending time together after school, so why not? I'm not against the idea, just, Alright, glad you agree. Liz takes this as her cue to leave, and she quickly pulls Damien away deep into the arcade. Meanwhile, Olivia begins to roll ahead, but stops and gives me an annoyed look. Come on already. Ah, right. As soon as I step closer, Olivia resumes her casual roll down the aisleway. Olivia's eyes seem distant as she looks over the various game cabinets in the room. Silver irises dancing to and fro, a soft hum resonating from her mouth. I try and follow where her gaze lingers, but she seems to be constantly drifting to something new every other moment while deep in her own thoughts. And as we carry on slowly, the creeping awkwardness in my stomach gnaws away at me. I've no clue what to do right now. The point of this excursion was to relax. It feels rude to interrupt her, but she definitely knows better than me. Say, Olivia. My voice brings her back to the current moment with a start, her hands maneuvering her chair around to look at me fully. What game should we try first? The baryonyx shrugs her shoulders. Anything. Okay, then how about one of your favorites? My favorites? Yeah, you used to come here all the time. I'm sure you've got some that you prefer. The look of surprise from her is quickly hidden by her turning her chair back around. Fine, my favorites then. My favorites. She pushes her wheelchair with purpose towards a particularly large screen in the corner. Looking at it closer, there's a large block connected to it, and dull multicolored sticks hanging off of the sides with wires. Oh, damn it. I look up at the title above the screen. Ruin Robbers? The more I look at it, the more I see where splotches of fresh paint barely cover poorly done marker graffiti. Olivia's pout is so prominent that she glares at the base... as she glares at the base of the funny-looking block before the screen. They updated it. So it should be better then, right? Her pout breaks, transforming into a depressed frown as her eyes seem to gloss over. I follow her gaze to the metal plate at the base to try and better understand. The machine looks pretty well maintained, if you ask me. Something wrong with it? They've added a foot pedal for the cover action. I test the plate, feeling it sink down and noticing the video demo screen changes to a screen with a bunch of ass written in numbers, with numbers next to each instant. The arcade makes you nostalgic for the part of your childhood you're most nostalgic for. Summer vacation with dad's part of the family in the San Francisco Bay Area, as opposed to smallish Iowa town you lived in 99% of the time. Didn't go to arcades often, but you could spend hours feeding tens of dollars into the X-Men and TMT side-scrolling beat-em-ups. Yeah. This sucks. Olivia's hands curl into fists as she glares at the machine. A twinge runs through my chest when I look back at the frustrated dino girl. One aspect of her favorite pastimes has been changed in a way that almost robs her of it. The thought strikes a painful chord in my heart, though I know I had zero hand in the game update. All the same, to see the clover-scaled girl look so morose. I turn my eyes away to my feet, the sensation leaving as I do, and a flash of brilliance overcomes me as I look at my loafers. He's wearing loafers? She cuts me off with a growl. I know what you're gonna say, and the answer is no. Do you have pennies in them too? So you're willing to just give up because you can't play it easily? Yes. Olivia's response leaves me a bit floored. Her hateful eyes leer venomously at her former favorite game, but I know my idea will work. Okay, you play then. Haven't you been paying attention? I'll handle the pedal work. Olivia's words are left hanging as she tries to visualize what I'm saying. Her confused gaze wanders between me and the flat rectangle on the floor. The whole time she looks so goofy I have to withhold a chuckle in fear of her clawing me. She must have realized, though, as she snatches the light gun from my hand, her cheeks bearing a red hue. Fine. One game. She looks at the light gun in her hand and takes a deep breath. You better do your job right, Inko. I give Olivia a nod, and she wheels herself right next to the arcade machine. Gimme. She reaches out for my hand and goes to take it before I can respond. She takes it for a split second, and then moves down to grab my wrist instead. Her scales are soft and cool. Hit the pedal when I squeeze, capiche? I nod in affirmation, and Olivia blasts the start button into pieces. You've never gone to an arcade... Sinaji Comediante. You've never gone to an arcade before. All the arcade games you played were played in an emulator in your dad's computer. Yeah, I've been to a few arcades, but they were usually arcades that were connected to something else, like a movie theater or Funworks. Dude, hit the damn pedal. It's like playing with controller lag. Inko. Sorry. Holy crap, this is worse than I remember. Hi, it's me. I'm the guy that makes sense. Here you can see that I put the respawning enemies in front of a place you're forced to cross. I came up with this idea while eating a bird. I don't even want to staple my ears to me. Fucking damn it, not again. Ugh. This game sucks. Want to play again? She's a bit intense. When Olivia finally releases her grip on my wrist, I feel my blood rushing through the imprint she'd left. The coin machine games, where you put the coins through in enough times to knock the prizes down. Oh, I've seen those. I never understood how they worked. We ended up playing 4 or 5 games total. That's probably enough. Good. I'm good to move on. You? Are you sure? I don't want to keep you here all day. Olivia looks over the machine one last time before sliding the plastic gun back in its slot. I'm still a bit disappointed they changed it, but... thanks. Alright, there's better games around anyway. Let's go. A stray thought from before I really got to know Olivia careens to the forefront of my mind. Sometime along the way, people started calling her Hot Wheels. I don't remember really who or when. Is I want to staple my ears a game reference? I mean, she doesn't have ears. She was like hypothetically quoting a stupid person, so I'm sure it must be a reference to something, but I couldn't tell you what. It's too specific not to be. But I do know it's proof that she's got that fire in her. A fire in her. Before she can roll away too far, my hand takes hold of one of her chair's grips, jolting the Dino Girl from her sullen stupor. Say, I've got an idea, Hot Wheels. Why don't we try the fighting game you were so good at? The fighting game? Ah. Olivia's jaws click shut and her hands ring together tightly. Arcade cabinets can't change, right? I mean... Her gaze turns toward the opposite end of the arcade, and I can hear the loud hollers of competition from here. Come on, Hot Wheels, what do you say? The name seems to invigorate her, and her glacier iris is hardening and her ivory claws touching at her wheels. An eerie grin creeps across her features, tongue polishing an incisor as her predatory eyes lash onto a particular cabinet in the far side. Olivia picks a direction and speeds off, parting the sea of sweaty dinos and leaving a small space of safety in her wake. After a short while, passing some digital pachinko machines, she looks back at me for a moment as if to confirm my presence and say, "Don't lose me," and then yanks her wheelchair to launch herself through the building towards a new destination. What? Hey! I finally give chase, following as best as I can while avoiding the rest of the awestruck players that just witnessed the high-speed Dino Girl shoving them aside in her wake. As I get closer, the atmosphere seems to grow thicker, the very air becoming dank and heavy, almost as if someone dialed a humidifier up to 11. It's con funk. For a second, I have to stop in my tracks to catch my breath and try to cool down as my shades begin to fog up. So this is the power of the fighting game crowd. I've heard things, but I thought they were jokes. Through the fog, I spot Liz, or rather, Liz's head, sticking above the crowds. Yo, you found us! Getting closer, Damien and Liz's head come into view. Olivia stops and checks one last time that I didn't get washed away in the crowd. She then moves past Damien and Liz, coming to a screeching halt next to a particular cabinet that's occupied by somebody else. She removes a shiny coin from her pocket, placing it firmly down on the controls of the current player, who hardly glances at her. As I step closer, I'm able to overhear the exchange between the two dinos. The greaseball Ankylosaur, without even looking away from the cabinet, starts rattling off his credentials to Olivia as if it was a job interview. You know I'm the best Jurassic player this side of Volcadera, right? Double S ranked, 3 online tournament wins. Besides, it's 50 cents, not... Shut up and nut up already. Olivia's voice causes the Ankylosaur to grimace and finally turn his head. You really want to try me? Look, Tiny Tim, you got... His jaw clicks shut as his eyes manage to sweep above and then down to Olivia, his eyes squinting as his retinas slowly adjust to the low lighting of something not displaying a brightly colored pixelated character. Bro, you know you can't be bringing chairs over here, not after last summer. Olivia growls and raises a fist, and I think the pale-scaled dino finally sees who is challenging him. His maw flaps helplessly as he tries to explain himself before just stopping completely. Never mind. Sorry. The Gator girl sighs and taps a finger on the quarter she'd placed down. Rules say you can't refuse, right? His head tilts in confusion. You know, you look to be the new champ here, right? Yeah, I am. This is the champ's cabinet, right? Damien's come over by this point, followed closely by Liz's head. Champ's cabinet? Unofficial, but that's the oldest one here. Been here since the dawn of time. It's like sacred or something. I look over the old machine, the paint on it chipped and positively covered in marker ink to the point that the only legible thing on it is a very juvenile edit to the game's title. This thing? Yeah, man. They only let the head honchos actually use it. If you're spotted trying without credentials, you end up headbutted. That's bull, but I believe it. I look back to Olivia, who's having a withering stare down with the squat guy she challenged. Look, lady, I'm a big deal here. Buster O'Nuts, crown champ in all Volcadera. This particular Jurassic machine's got a history. It happens to be the same machine that Dano the Rex Go managed to parry. Quit stalling and fight me already. I'm not, I'm just, setting the stage is all. Plus, you think you're the only challenger I've got? I look around, noticing that there was now a group surrounding us. On my title as champion, I'll take all comers now. A hushed whisper goes through the crowd. Finally, form a line now. Okay. Tallest to smallest. What? No cutting. Oh, heck yeah, we're gonna wipe the floor with you, Buster. Wait. What? I don't even play video games. And I'm not really a gamer either. Too bad, consider it the blood tax. I want to protest further, but Olivia's head turns toward me with a pleading look on her face. Besides, you think I want to put my hands on that thing? Who knows where... We're in. Inko. Yes! Come on, Liz, it won't be that bad. You're still by the Brachio booth, right? Hold tight, I'll come get you. Damien pushes back through the small group around us, following Liz's neck to find the rest of her. Her head swivels around and gives chase, her pleas to not have to play falling on deaf ears. Brachio booth? The arcade's claustrophobic, so Brachiosaurs would tend to bump into everything, including each other. There was some lawsuit, so now there's a few platforms placed where people like her can sit and reach everything. There's even some water fountains attached. It doesn't stop things from getting tangled when there's multiple, but it's something. Huh, lore. Quit breaking the fourth wall, Inko. In the end, Liz must have relented because she shuffles up to the rest of the group. Fine, let's just make this quick. Liz reluctantly steps towards the arcade cabinet, a crooked smile forming on the self-proclaimed champion's face. It doesn't take long for Liz to completely lose. The Ankylosaur's hands move like a blur as they dance across the controls, pummeling their digital opponent into the ground. As boastful as he was earlier, he's at least proved that he was skilled at Jurassic, the screen displaying perfect after only a minute against Liz. Liz crosses her arms and starts heading back to her old seat in the booth, head in tow with a pout. Buster leans his head back against his clasped hands to make a show that it was no big deal. Next victim. Damien struts to the cabinet and jams his hands in his pocket for change. Is there a whole piggy bank in there? Haven't seen your group around before. Tourists? Huh? Oh nah, Liv and I used to come here all the time. Life's been tough, you know, so we got some friends to come along on this little trip down memory lane. Lighten the mood a bit. This place hasn't changed much in the years either. Aha! He hoists the quarters high and jams them into the slot. Once more, the screen lights up and the character selection music busts in. Buster considers his selection, and ultimately chooses the same character. Damien jams on the... What's with that death glare? Damien just picked a counter to his character. Probably expects all of us to be beginners. Buster does seem a bit more tense now. Been a while since then, though. Her explanation is cut short as her words take on a scratchy quality. Hey, you okay? What? I'm fine. I can go and refill your canteen pretty quick. Sure, thanks. She reaches behind her and unhooks her severely dented water bottle from her chair. You're back, you just got done watching the Wani mod playthrough. Hey, Brody. You hope... You hope I license myself out for plushies or body pillows. I mean, eventually, if I get enough of a following. There's something to look into for Christmas. That Buster guy said there was water by the Brachio booths. Although I can't imagine the water in here is very good. Christmas? What? What am I thinking? I haven't gotten anyone a gift like that before. Focus, Inko. You're just getting some water. I head deeper into the arcade towards the center, passing through the aisle lit by game screens. You guys are done here already? No, just refilling Olivia's water bottle. I guess I'm gonna miss Damien's match. Say, Liz, this sticker here, what is it? Her head comes in close as she eyes the weird brand on the canteen. Oh, that's from some really old show? Like back in the 90s old. It was a mod adaptation of I Wani Kiss That Snoot, but specifically the Worm Drama concert. This is for context and context alone. Okay. Why? Just curious is all. Well, I never really asked Olivia about it. Maybe I should. After all, I think I recall watching a video essay about it once. Though I could never really get into older stuff, the animation always looks so choppy. Recapping the bottle, I lead Liz's head back to the fighting game section. It's surprising that Damien and Buster are still playing, this time both of their hands slamming furiously on the controls. A crowd has even formed around the duo, exchanging low whispers as they watch the old CRT screen. I pick out Olivia at the front of the crowd, close to the cabinet, so she's able to clearly watch. She's hyper-focused to the point that when I swish the bottle in front of her face, she just leans over to keep watching. Evil it is then. I hold the canteen above her muzzle and carefully tip it over until a few drops fall on her face. Her tongue laps along her lips and swipes up the nourishing droplets before glaring at me. Hey! Here you go, fresh from the latrine. Har. She takes the bottle and downs most of it right away before clearing her throat. Thanks. How's Damien's match going? Well... he's getting too aggressive. It was called a drama of worms, from what you could recall, despite just finishing it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into mods after I finish playing through this. I really want to play the, what was it called? The one that Megan put out with the yellow Triceratops. He is? Yeah, Buster picked a rushdown character, so Damien picked a zoner to keep Buster in a distance. Problem is that zoners are notoriously bad when it comes to footsies and are even worse with mix-ups, which means that if Buster is able to get into Damien's hitbox, he's gonna get super punished and might even lose the set in a single. Wait a second, I'm human. So, Damien has to keep his distance. It's not looking good for... Oh, crap. Olivia and I watch from the sidelines as over the next few seconds, Buster pulls off an impressive series of moves that crush Damien's character into the ground. Almost like he was waiting for us to get back. Wow, you actually knew how to play. Buster jams an accusing finger my way, as though marking me for death. You're next. Damien's expression carries a hint of disappointment as he steps away from the cabinet, but he quickly peps up and reassumes his usual jovial self. Just me and Olivia left. I nervously step up to the cabinet. A plethora of characters in various fighting poses stare back at me, each with their own promises of victory. I recall an old saying Coach Solly had said, "If we do not know what we are doing, then the opposing team certainly can't anticipate our future actions." I tap my joystick over until the large question mark in the middle of the screen is highlighted, to the astonishment of spectators and my visibly nervous opponent. The game begins, and my opponent beside me seems exceptionally calm as he manipulates his controls. compared to me trying out every button and stick input to figure out what the heck I'm doing. Unlike Damien, who at least looked like he was holding his own against the bloated Buster, I was getting all the digital crap kicked out of me. Every attempt I made was met by my character being grabbed and thrown in some ridiculously elaborate way. Aw, he's a king main. How dare you? By the time the perfect announcement plays out on the screen, I can feel my wrists cramping from the crazy amount of button mashing I'd done in under a minute. Would I play mods this stream? Probably not. No, not this stream. I want to wait until I finish this one all the way. Hey, Scout. Good to see ya. At least I lasted a little longer than Liz. Don't feel too bad. I am the best here, after all. His snort-filled laughter grates on my ears as I walk back to my friends, all of them staring daggers at the pasty-scaled dino. The rest of the crowd are in an uproar along with him, and I can feel my ears heat up at the attention. Olivia's eyes are narrowed as she wheels herself into position, her tail lashing roughly against the ground as she waits for the laughter to die down and her turn to finally begin. Buster chuckles to himself while cracking his knuckles. I just finished wiping the floor with your friends while hardly breaking a sweat. Just so you know who you're really dealing with. I'm Buster O'Nuts, achiever of octaves in the annual Jurassic Wisconsin E-Tournament, demolisher of Icaria, second best player of 2007 to 2012, and co-leader of the Midwestern branch of the Mighty Mammoths Gamers Guild. You won't look bad for ducking out. Or are you ready to get busted? You're fat. You know you can still back out of this. Olivia's response is to insert her coins slowly, without breaking eye contact with Buster, with what I can only describe as a predatory leer. She then slams her fist onto the start button. Buster instantly moves his cursor towards a different character. Damien next to me lets out a soft gasp. What? What's wrong? Buster's character is like 3 kinds of bullshit is what's wrong. What? Well, for one, he's usually gentleman's band and tourneys, and his mouth is moving, but all that comes out is alien words. Buster lets out a chuckle and turns to look at Olivia, giving her a smug grin. Olivia doesn't seem at all fazed by Buster's character choice, clicking her joystick lazily. As soon as Olivia picks her character, the game's announcer blares the name aloud. Wani Long. Damien turns to look at me. The excitement in his face is overbearing. That's Olivia's main! Aw man, this'll be one hell of a fight if Olivia's breaking her out. So is this Wani Long a good character? Shortest explanation you'll understand is yes. What's the long one? If you don't know what a Shoto is, it'll take too long to explain here. Bah. While Damien rambles on, I recall Olivia's motivation to just get here. That look she had. That, more than anything, piques my curiosity. So, how good is Olivia with her? Damien's reply is to only give me a wide, big grin. Oh, you'll see. A loud soundbite from the cabin speaker signals the start of Olivia's match. Given the way Damien spoke of Olivia's skills like it was derived from an ancient scroll, I expect it to be a flurry of pixelated beatdowns and tactful controller play. This break has been crazy. Inanimate Insanity Season 2, Episode 17. Huh, I haven't heard of that. I might look it up after this. But instead it looked like nothing at all. On the large display, both characters are just shifting back and forth, the joysticks in Olivia's hand and Buster's hands clacking about furiously. Best track from the B-side OST is here. Oh, they have a B-side OST as well as a main OST? It looks more like they're attempting to make their digital avatars tap dance. Oh? What, did I miss something? I don't want to turn my eyes away in case anything happens. No, like, they're trying to get a read on each other. It's like they're trying to predict what the other will do so they can counter and steal the match. Oh. So, like, there's a heavy crack and a thump on the floor in front of me. Olivia's tail lashed at the base of the cabinet while Buster's Thagomizer had managed to crack into the concrete floor beneath him. On screen, the characters finally made contact and sent each other flying in opposite directions. Behind me, the crowd started cheering, finally excited that there was some actual action happening. Damien is hollering next to me, cheering on Olivia with all his might. Though the excitement dies down again as the duo resume their cyber posturing, my eyes darted between Olivia and Buster. Olivia's completely absorbed in the match. Her eyes are wide and full of killing intent. Buster, on the other hand, seems like he can barely contain his fury. 10 seconds on the clock, Olivia comes in clutch, punishing Buster's character with an impressive string of attacks. He manages to get away with a single pixel of health just as the time limit runs out. Winner, Wani Long! The crowd goes nuts as Olivia's victory is announced. And you know what? I can't help but cheer along with them. Olivia slumps back on her mobile seat and lets out a sigh before returning to her original position. Buster lets out a snort, twists and stretches his neck, and cracks his knuckles before once again gripping the controls tight. Round 2. Clash and Thrash. The crowds return to a more silent state of observing the match closely, only low murmurs as they gawk at the two highly skilled players. The words passed around reach me, attempting to draw my eyes away. Weird for him. Surprised he's not doing the... Is he playing with her? Come on, Olivia! Damien's shout above the rest of them nearly blew my eardrums, but I shared his sentiment as the stylized characters exchanged simple blows. The timer continues to tick down, Buster once again being put on the defensive. With how all the previous bouts went, Buster always had control with a cutthroat level of offense, but I didn't think of him being this passive. The countdown once again hits 0, this time with Olivia's character slouching in defeat and the crowd cheering again, though less enthusiastically than before. You got this, Olivia. Just one more win and you're the champ again. Olivia's shoulders tense up at what he said, and all eyes stare directly at her. Damien? Come on, Hot Wheels, show him why you're the best. She groans a bit and refocuses on the screen. The group simmers down to silence in anticipation of the start of the final match. The sudden silence actually catches me off guard for a second, long enough for my own doubts to catch up to me. Buster's playstyle, it's like he's not really trying. The match starts and the hype flares right back up. Inanimate insanity reaction seed planted, now you wait for results. That's stupid of me to think. He's a gamer bro champion type. He's got way too much to lose. And yet... Hey, Damien. Yeah? You notice anything off about how Buster's playing? You notice it too? I guess I'm not just paranoid then. Like, I didn't really watch your match, but he was always so... Was he always so... passive? No. But, like, these two are crazy good, so maybe this is all mind games. As if he's going to throw the game and let her win. We glance back at the ongoing battle happening on the screen, and I take notice of Buster's hand movement. As Olivia launches her character into a furious combo, sure enough, Buster hesitates just enough to let his fighter get hit by the first blow. That's brilliant timing. This is crazy. Huh? Then it hits me all at once like a freight train. The way Buster was looking down at Olivia, how he didn't want to take her challenge, all the excuses he was giving. He's a virgin, but also... he's throwing the whole match, isn't he? Damn it. Even here, Olivia was right. Damien, I think he's taking it easy on her. You think so? Damien takes a moment to ponder what I said. Dang. Even here. That's what I was thinking. Should we do something? What, interrupt the match? Everyone else is having fun. The crowd whoops again. Only now it sounds a bit different. Hollow. Mocking. Damien's frill sags with concern. He turns to me. What we came here for is a good time. If she can't tell, what's the harm? Jeez. You know what I mean. Yeah, I do. I hate that he's right. I could stand up for her. I mean, just being there for Olivia when Mia was getting on her went pretty alright. But that was a while ago. I just don't know. I look over the crowd again. The match is about halfway done, judging by the remaining health pools. Cheer Olivia on. I know Olivia normally doesn't like this from strangers, but I'm no stranger to Olivia. She knows my intentions. We're friends. On screen, it looks like the characters are about to strike one another with their feet. I cut my hands around my mouth. Go, Olivia! You got this! Damien recoils from my scream. Or maybe I popped his eardrum, judging by the glare he levels at me. Then he raises 2 fingers to his mouth. Heck yeah! You got this! Even Liz tries to join in, shouting down at the crowd with her own cheers. Oh, you know what would be cool? You can do it, Hot Wheels! Yeah, go Hot Wheels, go! Olivia flinches and turns her head to look back at us a bit. Curiously, so does her opponent. She sees us cheering and she gets her usual disfavoring furrowed brow. No way, I'm sticking to my guns. Eyes on the screen, Hot Wheels, he's gonna get you! Beat him without even looking! She stares right through the crowd at me. It's only an instant, but it feels longer. But her subtle scowl cracks. Then it completely folds into a smirk back at us. She faces back to the screen with renewed vigor. Buster shakes his head to snap himself out of his own slog. It looks like he was only intending to lose little by... It looks like he was only intending to lose by a little. He's picking up the pace now. Only... Time! The match time's out. Ugh. Dang, wanna go another round? People need a winner. Actually, mind if I run to the restroom real fast? Shit, yeah, it's, down that way. Olivia turns and smiles at me again. It's warm. Then she goes off to the restroom. Buster waits for her to be out of earshot and then scrambles over to Damien and I. Hey, you two. You guys weren't serious, right? Huh? You were saying Hot Wheels. That's not really her, right? The Hot Wheels from a decade ago? Yep, it's her. Why? Damn, I feel like a jackass now. You should have felt like one before, let's be real. You were throwing for her, weren't you? Oh, Lil. Your buddy Finhead gave me some sob story about her during our match, and I felt bad, okay? Who wants to be known as the asshole that picks on cripples? Ooh, Buster was being hospitable to the young lady. Who the fuck? Shut the... Yo, Buster, you simping? Piss off. But yeah, I didn't mean any disrespect or anything. Crap, I didn't know she had history here. I should have more respect than that. What do you do now? I'll play for real. It's what she deserves. That's all we ask. Buster nods and turns with a thumbs up. He cracks his knuckles and neck in preparation for his first legitimate match of the day. You're still kinda simping, though. Shut the hell up, Dave. Olivia returns, sliding to the machine once more. Thanks for waiting. No problem. Ready? You know it. Good, because you're going down this time. They give each other one last competitive leer before putting all their focus on the screen. Just as before, Buster chooses the OP character, and Olivia picks Wani Long. As soon as the in-game announcer yells, "Fight!" Buster immediately goes in for the kill, the total opposite to how he was playing last match. It catches Olivia off guard for a moment, leading her character to eat a massive combo that takes away a good chunk of her health. True to his word, he isn't holding back this time for Olivia's sake, dealing her the same level of beatdown brutality he gave to the opponents before her. This seems to only invigorate her, putting her skills and hands into overdrive. Even though Buster is going at full force, Olivia still manages to get Wani Long to land a few punches and kicks, along with evading some attacks. The crowd seems to notice the reappearance of Buster's lethality, causing an uproar of cheering and whoops. Damien, of course, follows suit. You got this, Hot Wheels, kick his ass! Can't let him be the only one, right? Show him why you're the champ! Unfortunately, not even Olivia could beat Buster's true fighting skills, and like his previous opponents, KO Bold wins! The crowd is a mix of groans and cheers in excitement at the ill-fated defeat of Olivia. Buster crosses his arms, basking in his self-pride of beating the legendary Hot Wheels. Damn, he really handed my ass to me. Didn't I say I was kind of a big deal around here? Yeah. Though I gotta admit, you gave me a real challenge. I see why you were known as a champ. Thanks. If you're ever up for a rematch, you know where to find me. With that, Olivia makes her way over to us, a smile beaming across her face. Alright, who's next? We exit the crowd into a more spacious part of the arcade. That was awesome, Liv! You really gave him a run for his money. I know, right? I mean, I know I'm a bit rusty, but the moment I got my hands on the controls and he gave me a real fight, I was so close to beating him. Despite having been outmatched and losing to Buster, she seems to be having even more fun than ever. I'm feeling a little jittery after that fight. That's the gamer rush settling in you. Hey, you know they sell food here, right? We should get some snacks to celebrate. Well, I was smelling grease. I was just assuming it was... He takes his own order and starts marching off in another direction. Damien, wait for the rest of us. Food, huh? You know what? I could go for a little something. Yeah, it is getting pretty late. I wish I ate before I started streaming now. Come on, they went this way. Olivia starts plowing through the crowd once more. You wonder if Olivia lost because she wasn't expecting Buster to be more difficult the final time? Maybe. It could also just be that she's out of practice. Oh boy, this again. I'll call it exercise. The snack bar is a small cutaway from the rest of the building, segregated by a different style tiling and brighter fluorescent lighting. There's not a lot of options aside from what you'd expect. Pizza, ice cream, chicken strips, pickles, and the like. When Damien asked for 2 slices of pizza, Liz got excited. The moment he got the food, however, he was already eating one while holding the other. She seemed really annoyed, but took his offer to let him pay for her food. He offered to pay for Olivia and myself, but the last thing that I want for him to do is drain his wallet any further, knowing their living situation. It's barely over $10, so it's not like it bothers me. Olivia had gotten an order of chicken wings slathered in hot sauce. I just went with the classic chicken strips and one of the sodas I recognized from the school vending machine. We take a seat at one of the few open tables, and I struggle not to think about how often they're cleaned. Damien doesn't bother sitting with us. He just heads right back into the fray with both arms occupied by his dinner. Liz follows after Damien to keep track of him, at least her head does. Olivia barely even sets her tray down before... crunch, crunch, crunch. I subtly shift myself away from the maelstrom of molars and claws. Damien probably said he'd cover the meal because he knew Olivia would get, like, this. Sheesh, Hot Wheels, would you like some actual meat on that? I didn't even know wing bones could get that big. Olivia responds by snapping the bone in two between her teeth. The marrow squirts out a little, and she has to get a napkin to wipe her cheek. Suddenly, my own chicken tender meal looks even more unsavory, so I push it aside and closer to the toothed tornado. It only takes moments for her to accept my offering with no manners whatsoever. Don't mention it. So... after we finish, any other plans? Olivia ponders my words while rolling a bone around in her mouth like it's a lollipop stick. It's just a chicken bone, Inko. An oddly large chicken bone. I don't know, I've basically done all that I want to do by now. Damien's probably got another 20 minutes before he burns out. I'm cool to hang here unless you want to do something. Nah, I actually don't play games much. I had fun playing with you, though. Olivia looks away for some reason. We should do this sort of thing more often. Yeah? Of course. I've never had this much fun outside of my previous schools, mainly because I never had many friends to hang out with. That's kinda sad. It is, but it looks like moving here was a change for the better. Plus, it's just fun hanging out with you. Though stained with sauce, Olivia's lips curled into a smile. And Liz and Damien too, of course. Though I have to admit, with the way Liz gravitates towards Damien, it's almost like she had this all set up. What do you mean? Message retracted, message retracted. It would be funny if Olivia showed Inko 4chan. Dang, I should have been looking. I want to know what those retracted messages were. Well, Damien and Liz are pretty close, so maybe she's using this as an opportunity for them to get closer. It's almost like we're on a double date or something. She jerks back to me, completely attentive. Did I say something? Really? Yeah, it's kind of funny. Since we hang out together pretty often, people might start thinking we're together. Something whips into my back. Gah! Olivia grabs hold of her tail. Crap, sorry. Yeah. I had fun today. Going out like this for the first time in ages, seeing this place again, it's nice. That Buster guy said they renovated it a bit in the last few years. Has anything else changed? Olivia looks into the depths of the arcade, looking for anything different. You know what? I think the wallpaper's changed. But other than that... She turns back to me with a nostalgic grin. No, it stayed the same. You know what has changed, though? What? The people here. What, like employees? Them too, but I meant the regulars. When we came here, the place was always more... Her tongue probes her cheek as she considers different words. More hectic? No, more packed. It was so easy getting through here today. I recall her almost running some people over to get across the building. And with the look she had back then, I don't think she'd have noticed if she had. Olivia's gaze lingers back towards the arcade machines. Back then, every machine was crowded. It was a lot louder, and there were always this something in the air that had everyone excited. What about when you and that guy were playing Jurassic? Okay, yeah, it was like that, but way more. Like, it felt like every machine had a crowd around it, everyone just getting crazy, and it was always a pain to wait your turn. Oh, you said a non instead of Inko, they were misspellings. I do that sometimes. You need to acquire food yourself. Won't be gone too long. Please inform me if I unlock a mad, passionate love scene. Will do. With the heaviest of sighs, Olivia turns back towards me. It just feels empty, like everything else nowadays. I mean, empty is good. You were able to get around easily. Near hit and runs notwithstanding. And personally, this place feels crazy to me. Even here in this tiny food court, I can feel the rumbling loudness of all the people here resonate through my body. Her only response was a non-committal hum. Olivia handles her flask carefully, staring down at the sticker I'd noticed earlier with a wistful look. I remember that Liz mentioned about it being from an old show she watched. Say, I noticed that sticker when I went to refill it. What's it from? Oh, that. It's from some old anime that I remember watching growing up. It's nothing really special. From some anime, huh? What's it about? Info dump in 3, 2, 1. You want to know? Sure, I never really caught on to the whole anime stuff, but I'd like to know what it's about. Well, if you really do want to know, it's not like any other anime. It's called Gundam, and for the next 5 minutes, Olivia tries to summarize the premise of Gundam in detail. Given that I'm as clueless to it as I was with the fighting terminology, the plot sounds completely esoteric. The sticker is of the symbol worn by a faction of space noids fighting for their independence. It sounds like a just and noble group with a goal like that. Watching her talk so passionately about the series franchise? Oh, that's a lot. For how long? But that's alternate universe stuff. Oh, and then there's this martial arts one. As she continues her description of the franchise, I start to realize how enamored I've become. I saw one episode of a Gundam show in syndication on the Sci-Fi Channel long ago on cable TV. I have no idea what the plot was about, and the only detail that I remember is that there was this high school, and this girl, gave this dude a letter confessing her love for him, and he didn't even open it. He was just like, fuck your letter, and he threw it away, and that's all I remember. That, and it was just like a bunch of talk about politics and territory and stuff. As she continues her description of the franchise, I start to realize how enamored I've become. Not just about hearing the show, but from seeing Olivia talking about her favorite show with such passion and energy. I find myself engrossed in her voice as she recounts a particular version of the anime, as she's even taken to emulating segments from the show. And in the end, he finally admits it, and it's one of the best romances Gundam's done, and... Her sudden pause worries me. What's wrong? Nothing. Doesn't sound like nothing. Rather, given the roughness in her tone again, her throat finally ran dry. Do you need another refill? I'm good. That was Gundam Wing, LOL. Okay. Good to know. She drinks deeply from the canteen that had started this all off. It's been a while since she talked herself dry like that. In fact, I can't recall the last time she desperately needed to hydrate like that. I think maybe around the start of the school year. She releases the canteen and lets a breath of relief out. Better? Olivia nods. Yeah, anyway, where'd I leave? Actually, I've probably been babbling on too long about it. Oh no, I don't mind at all. Nah, it's fine. Besides, you let me talk about my favorite show, so tell me about yours. Mine? Well, I haven't finished anything, just mostly video essays about old shows. I'm told that I can call myself a fan of video games without having played them, but does that apply to TV? Olivia sure has taste. She can tell me exactly what kind of show she likes and why she likes it. I just know bits of trivia. No, that can't be right. I've seen lots of things in passing. Like... Well, shoot. I have no swag. I guess I've spent more of my time watching in-depth video essays about shows rather than actually watching them. Man, that's embarrassing. No it's not. Okay, maybe a little. But it's never too late to get into it, see what you do or don't like. Next time you're over at my place, we can binge watch a whole anime series. I like the sound of that. But if it ever gets too intense, you can always watch Power Raptors with Vinny. Hey. Relax. Toku shows like that aren't just for kids to like. It's funny, though. I remember my dad letting me watch it as a kid, and Vinny got into it because I showed him. If you don't mind me asking, you mentioned that your dad's in and out of town because of his job. What is it exactly? He's on contract with the DoD. Wow, really? Yep, been working with the Air Force since I was a baby. Normally he isn't called that often, but when he does, it's pretty lengthy. Weeks, even months. That must suck. It isn't all too bad. We can still call each other and send messages. The work just keeps him busy. Well, that's good. Keeping in touch with your folks is important. Why do I feel sad now? Because she has a better relationship with her dad and he's gone all the time than you do with your parents who live with you? What about your parents? What's their job? Oh, mine are joint partners and architects. It's why we move around a lot and the main reason why we're here in Volcadera to begin with. Now it all makes sense. What does? You know. She points at my shades and jacket. Having on a jacket and shades doesn't automatically make me rich, Olivia. Dude, who else wears clothes from Abercrombie and Flint and has extra pairs of Ray A-band sunglasses on them? People in mansions, that's who. I don't live in a mansion. For your information, it's a 2-story complex with an automatic gate and... Oh. What Nico said totally reminds me of how you used to be watching a bunch of cartoon reviewers, especially on Nickelodeon shows. You also watched music videos a lot. Yeah, same. I used to watch stuff like people doing reviews of things, and instead of watching the actual thing, and I would just take what the reviewer said and, like, integrate it into my own opinion. I try to do that less. Okay, both Yeek and Snoot Game taught me not to trust the opinions of people on the internet when it comes to critiquing media. I see what you mean. Now you get it, moneybags. Suddenly, Liz starts waving her hands around excitedly. What the? Inko! Olivia! Damien comes rushing in, both arms filled with a pile of tickets. Whoa, mama, that's a lot of tickets. The other end is still trailing behind him. Damien got the jackpot at Mega Millionaire. This is probably like 1,000 tickets. I'm gonna go see what this gets at the prize corner, come on. Holy crap. Alright, yeah, you done eating, Olivia? She takes the basket of chicken strips and pushes back from the table. Yeah. I roll my eyes and follow behind Damien to the prize counter. He plops his winning stash on the counter in front of the unamused clerk. So, what'll this get me? Nothing, you need to drop those in a ticket counter first. Ah, damn, I nearly forgot. He rushes off to get them counted, and I look over the options. There's a few old games up on the top shelf for several thousand. What's the exchange rate supposed to be? Below me in the glass counter is a bunch of candy and small plastic novelties. There's also a lot of joke items, whoopee cushions, air horns, things like that. In one corner is a series of licensed and generic plush toys hanging. Now this takes me back to the prize counter at Funworks. They always had, like, this lava lamp. I wanted it, but of course I could never earn it. The expensive prizes are for people who, like, save the tickets and then come back multiple times to earn more. In one corner is a series of licensed and generic plush toys hanging. What do you think he'll get? Probably a mini RC car? Or no, maybe that plasma globe. He's gonna get a handful of candy and let us have the rest. You think so? Alright, I'm back. He hands the ticket over. I spot the number 1247 printed on the ticket. Dang, that's enough for one of the plushies on the wall. Let's see. I want... Hey, how about that? He points to a small foosball table on the top shelf. The clerk glances up at it and back. That's gonna be like another few thousand. Ah, damn it. Well, I'm out of ideas. I guess I'll have some of those then. The clerk gets a small bag of chocolates from the display. You guys can have the rest. I don't really need anything here. And nothing's really speaking to me either. I might want something. Olivia scans the corner. There's still enough tickets for a medium prize. She might be going for a paddle ball or something. Whoa, look at that. She points to the plushie corner. The blue slug thing? No, next to it. There's a weird dark green thing hanging in the corner. The only one of its kind. I kind of want to drop kick it. That one? I don't know. Something about it really makes me want to... I don't know. Tie it to a firework and set it off into a deep fryer? I was just thinking the same thing. You guys are rude. I'm not saying you're wrong, though. He looks like he's the reason why we have taxes. I hate its face. He thinks he's better than all of us. I've gotten used to it. It's been around for years. Tell it I hate it. You don't really want it, right, Olivia? Wow, it's just like me. Her eyes are bright and wide. She's in love. Oh. The clerk hands her the stuffed toy, and she looks deep into its beady eyes. Yep, just like me. I'm gonna set that on fire sometime. Not if you like having both arms. We have two for a reason. The argument continues for several minutes. Guys, it's getting late. I think it's time we head out. Ah, shoot, she's right. Even though the weekend starts tomorrow, I still have a curfew that my folks are strict about. Agreed. Ah, I guess you're right. What you watch now are music reviews, but mainly for recommendations. Understandable. Hey, Taylor Later. Best moment? He's just like me for real! On the way out, Damien stops and breathes in deeply. You know, this was a lot of fun. Coming here all together for the first time in a while. Thanks for taking us, Liz. Oh, it's no problem. Thanks to you guys, too. Yeah, man, it was fun. We should do this again sometime. It's just like you remember it? Even better. I know I was a bit meh about the idea at first, but I'll admit, it was worth it. Back in the car, the argument picks up again. Aww. I'm just saying you should try hiding pencils in its ears until they come out the other side of its head. If anyone hurts him, I'll kill ya. She stares with razor intent back at Damien. Okay, let's not get into fratricide over a plush animal. Olivia hugs the wretched thing tighter. So, Inko, you want me to drop you off at your place? Oh, dang. Yes, please. Hadn't thought of that. I quickly send Liz the address to my house, which she puts into Google Maps. Buckled in, we head out of the parking lot and into the main road. Entering the freeway, we pass by the city, now illuminated. The early fall sunset bathes the car's interior a warm orange, and as we make our way home, I find myself recalling all the spots that Olivia had highlighted. I want to ask her again, just so I knew for sure, but seeing her rest peacefully gave me pause. Well, I suppose I can ask her another time. Better to let sleeping gators lie. Wait, lay? Let her rest. She had fun, now she's tired, and that's all that matters. I know Olivia mentioned that the place was updated, but I'd be lying to myself if I didn't say that it looked a bit too grimy. I just hope I don't get sick. Yep, I got sick. You're on Olivia's side? Yeah, that thing's adorable. I don't know why they're hating. I've been completely out the whole weekend, sick like a dog. Must have caught it at the arcade. At first it was just a slight headache and a stuffy nose, but by Sunday it felt like my bones were made out of paper mache. I couldn't even go to school today. Man, this sucks. I shouldn't have ignored the signs. The rapid weather change isn't helping at all either, between the pollen and the chills. Worst part is, I'm falling out of practice. I've tried on and off every hour to watch a drawing tutorial, but within minutes of my consciousness is overtaken by a fog and I retreat back to the bed. At this rate, I'll never actually have the skill people thought I had at the beginning of that contest. Between the sunlight obscuring clouds and my own bouts of unconsciousness, it feels like I've been sick for weeks instead of just days. I would have asked my parents for some help, but they still had work, and the most help they could be was simply calling into school to let them know I was sick. I finish off the cup of medicine that I made and go back to my noodles. The only reason I'm even conscious right now is because I figured some soup would help with the splitting headaches. OBS disconnected. Did it come back? OBS disconnected. Okay. The Krat brothers are now on TikTok. Oh, that's awesome. Rest in peace, Jovian. I know they've done like a billion other shows, but I'll always know them for Zaboomafoo. Okay. I don't think I missed much. Yeah, we're back. Eventually, I decide to set the salty goodness aside in favor of scrolling through the notifications on my cell phone. Of course, I got a few dozen from Damien. Bless his heart, he's been giving me an hourly play-by-play of the school day. Got a few messages from Liz, too. She's also filling me in on the school day, albeit not nearly as often as Damien. Even Olivia messaged me, and I feel oddly soothed as I read her well wishes. I suddenly get another notification, this time from Ben. It's a PDF of my homework, followed soon after by a simple get well soon animated emoji. Aren't I popular? I'll be sure to thank them in person when I'm better. Another wave of fuzziness washes over me, so I pop a few flu meds and chase it down with another gulp of the lukewarm chicken broth. 3 days of being sick as a dog, and it's only occurring to me that I haven't seen any sign of... Huh? I thought I already got my grocery delivery today. Or was that yesterday? Whatever. I push myself upright on the couch, turn sickbed, uncaring for all the styrofoam noodle cups and plastic wrappers that fall onto my carpet. Wow, I really let things get out of hand. My head is spinning as I make the arduous 20-foot journey. A check of the peephole and nothing is there. Or maybe it's a small child. Triasis Scout cookies sound awesome right now. One hand works to undo the locks, while I'm focusing on finding my wallet with the other. Damn poofy sleeves, if they weren't so Sup, you dead yet? Olivia? What are you doing here? In spite of her cheerful greeting, Olivia shifts side to side in her seat, and her knees totter together. Mr. Iadakan wanted me to give you the project worksheets for his class. She pulls her backpack up from behind her chair and reaches in, drawing out a manila envelope and waving it in my face. My dizziness intensifies as my eyes attempt to track the rapidly moving object in front of them. Oh, the one about Baroque? Thanks. I'm pretty sure Ben just sent me those as a PDF. She snorts and lets the packet go, my hands fumbling to catch it before it hits the floor. Without batting an eye, Olivia pushes past me as if wandering into someone's house is an everyday occurrence for her. Come on, the project isn't gonna finish itself. Huh? She's already wheeled herself to my couch and set a backpack on the coffee table. Yeah, figured you could use some help on it, or... And balks at the mountain of junk that I left. I think her nose crinkles, hard to tell from so far away. Damn, Inko, you live like this? My head finally catches up with what's transpired. Olivia's here now. Cool. Wait, is the sudden onset of vertigo? I guess I was standing upright for too long. I only managed to stay up just enough thanks to the support of the wall. What? Just how sick are you? Pretty sick. The disgust that was on her face is wiped away as she looks at me. Huh, I wonder why. Why is my floor coming at me? Owie. After my impromptu tumble, Olivia had done her best to pull me up and get me to the couch. My robe did make it easy to drag me across the smooth floor of my house. Okay, forget the project. What project? Attaboy. I can't tell if the dizziness is new or not. Olivia's already started picking at the trash mountain, moving what she can into a grocery bag. Watching her with my vision going fuzzy only intensifies the vertigo. I guess I should take more of my medicine. I grab a can of soda from the half-empty case on the table, along with the bottle of cough syrup. Psst. I upend the can and bottle into the glass I'd been using all weekend, watching the delicious mixture slowly become my panacea. Giving the glass a good swirl to ensure the best final product, I grin and gulp down my alchemical masterpiece. I don't get to finish the drink, however, as an olive green tail slams my midsection and makes me spit the drink all over myself. The fuck are you doing? No wonder you've been sick as shit. What? I read online that it makes the medicine go down easier. Inko, you've been drugging yourself with fucking purple drank. I mean, yeah, it's purple and I drink it. Holy crap, how are you alive? Seriously, he's been taking doses of codeine and he's been mixing it with over-the-counter flu meds. He probably stopped being actually sick days ago and he's just feeling the effects of his poisoning. Ugh, the smell of my spat-up drink irritates my nose and I feel my stomach roil from the impact of the forced purging. I resist the urge to retch, feeling all my energy drain away. Ugh. I feel completely spent again. My vision swims and the world turns counterclockwise. I feel something on my head, and I'm thankful that it's something soft and warm and soothingly smooth maneuvers it back to the couch. The blackness of my shut eyelids returns the uprightness of the world, and the numbness I'd grown used to overtakes my limbs. Oh my... Inko? Inko, are you okay? Oh man, stay there, I'll figure... Olivia's voice is drowned out by a growing drone of white noise. Once again, the colors from outside the window bleed and flood into my house, and I'm still without my rent money. Someone's in here still. They're bent over something. Hey, you, what's going on? Funny gator girl on wheels. Hang on, I'll try to help you out. What's going on? Who is this? Where's Lucy? Where's my daughter? If man came from monkeys, then how does Coach Solly exist? So big. Big hugs. I want a hug. Don't say anything. You're completely incoherent. Incoherent? That's my name. Before I could say anything, my being fades into the void. Oh, God. My head. What year is it? I sit up and glance around the room. Mom and Dad aren't back yet, even though it's 6 o'clock. Some business meeting, huh? Wait, no. What's that smell? Dang, something's cooking. It smells nice. I guess Mom is home. I wonder what the occasion is. Normally it's just reheated whatever. I put the couch pillows back the way my parents like them and head into the kitchen to see what's up. Wow, Mom, what smells good? Oh, shit, sorry. I didn't know you were still... Oh, man, I passed out on you, didn't I? The assignment. It's fine. You feeling any better? Oh, are they not around very often? Yeah, they're usually busy with work stuff. Both have busy but well-paying jobs. I'm fine, don't worry. If you say so. Olivia looks down at the slow cooker and fiddles with one of the dials. Actually, are you? Do you really not have anyone around? No aunts? Grandparents? No nothing? I shrug. Like, my mom's gone, and my dad's a whole nother story, but at least he stuck me with the pains. Lucy is the only canon answer. In that way, I guess you're off worse than me, somehow? The last part she spoke was quieter, and with her downcast face, I can't help but feel I wasn't meant to hear it. Well, yeah, you at least have your folks, but I don't think it does much good comparing our situations. I'll just have to be a better parent for my kids. Olivia flinches. I don't know why, though. Isn't that what everyone wants? You plan to start a family? Yeah, of course. What about you? My dad really wants me to. He knows he's pretty far from ideal. He's told me before that he hopes I can make a family work like how he couldn't. It'd be nice, but I mean, it's probably not gonna happen. I think it can. Well, after you collapsed, I panicked. I had to call Mrs. Payne and ask her what to do, if I should call emergency services. She said when this happens to Damien, she just makes him shepherd's pie and waits for him to sleep it off. I had to root through your fridge to find out you have jack shit in terms of ingredients. And your appliances, too. I thought a place as upscale as this would clearly have an air fryer. But all I could find was this slow cooker, so I threw the vegetables that hadn't expired into it with some stock. Should be good for your sinuses, at least. I vaguely remember something along those lines. I stepped closer to Olivia, peering into the glass window of the cooker. I didn't even know we had half of whatever's in there. Really? Why would your parents buy this kind of stuff just to let it rot away in the fridge? My mom does like to cook, but she doesn't do it very often. I wish she would. The green gator snorts. You know, I'm only spoiling you because you're sick. It's not that, I just miss dinner, you know? Sitting around the dining room table and talking to each other. We don't really do that anymore, except maybe on holidays. Olivia winces. No kidding. Sorry to pry. The game is making you hungry again? Yeah, same. I can't help but sigh as I think about my lackluster relationship with my mom and dad. It's alright. Anyway, I didn't take you for the culinary type, Olivia. The awkwardness of just standing there staring gets to me, so I chose to take a seat at our island table. Man, these chairs are surprisingly comfy. This is actually the first time the table was even used since we moved in. Thinking about it, Olivia's given me a lot of firsts now. Kinda wish Mom would make dinner again, like before she got that promotion. Olivia hums to herself as she moves towards the fridge, pulling out the egg carton and scowling after checking it. How often do you get groceries, Inko? I ordered some earlier. Actual groceries, not that junk. Oh. God, that's such a waste of money. Imagine if you could cook the food you like. I try to, but my head starts to get a bit lighter. Though now I can practically taste the salivating smell coming from the cooker. Is that why you're in home ec? There's another low hum from her as she considers something. I wanted to be ready when I had to have a place of my own. And it's actually relaxing. It just keeps my minds and hands busy when I'm alone. Plus, it's either this or, you know, bother Mrs. Payne all the time. The cooker pings, signaling the stew was finished. When Olivia takes the lid off, a cloud of steam erupts with the rich aroma of cooked meat and vegetables. Can you grab us some bowls? I'm guessing they're in the shelves above. I nod and get up, moving around the table to the shelf with all the bowls. I give the top a quick dust check, sticking it back in and taking the two under it. Olivia already has the ladle ready, stirring the soup slowly. I set the bowls down next to her and she ladles in servings for us. Okay, moneybags, back to the couch. You don't want to eat at the table? I can't. Oh. The island table doesn't really have the space for her chair to fit underneath. Plus, I want to enjoy this with some quality entertainment. I figured we could watch something together on that big flat screen you've got. That's okay, right? Sure. I carry both bowls back to the couch, seeing the entire living room has been cleaned up. Man, I really need to make this up to Olivia somehow. Just watching something doesn't feel like a fair deal at all. Not only cooking, but even cleaning up after. I'll find a way to repay her. I set down our dinner on the coffee table. Before Olivia can say a thing, I place both hands on the corner of the couch and push. Didn't think it'd be so hard, but then again, I am still out of sorts. The space created, however, is enough for Olivia to work the front of her chair in. Olivia gives me an appreciative nod, then angles her chair in a way to let her use her tail and the couch's armrest to pivot herself into it. Thanks. I give Olivia a small nod and a smile as I grab my spoon off the table. Leaning in closer to the bowl, the comforting aroma of the soup wafts up to my stuffy nose. First time I'm getting goosebumps that aren't caused by cold flashes. I get a spoonful of Olivia's homemade remedy, making sure to get some meat and veggies as well. Still piping hot, I blow a bit of air onto the spoon to cool it down. Pussy. What? Hey, the last thing I need with this fever is second-degree burns all over my tongue. Whatever you say. Once I feel that it's sufficiently cooled, I slurp up my first spoonful. My dry, tired eyes close in bliss as the flavors wash over my taste buds, firing them all off like fireworks. To describe it as just being good would be a severe understatement. The stock is rich and hearty, the meat is well cooked, it could easily fall off the bone it came from, and the vegetables gave it a nice aromatic touch. All of it well seasoned and spiced. It's like I'm experiencing that scene from Compy-Tooie. Sensing and seeing the different flavors move and dance around in my mind. For a brief moment, I forgot all about my fever, and only felt the warm presence of the soup envelop me like a cozy blanket. Is it good? Like a record scratch, I'm taken out of my experience and brought back to Earth by the baryonyx's voice. I look to see Olivia giving me a questioning look, idly crunching and munching her soup. I also realize that I've sunk into the couch, my arms to the side like a rag doll's. I felt like my body was weighed down from both sides by my sickness and the soup. I guess I got lost in the broth. Wow, Olivia, this soup is amazing. Olivia rolls her eyes at my enthusiastic compliment, but lets out a tiny smile. It's nothing. I just threw some shit together in a pot and called it food. Anyone could do that. Olivia looks away, once again cutting herself short. With weak strength, I lift myself up from the couch's gravitational pull to better look at the shying Scaly. I'm serious. This is the most delicious soup I've ever had. Olivia moves her head back closer to me, but still avoids my gaze, her smile a little weaker. All right, I get it. Don't have to make it sound better than it is. It's just helping out your flu. I'm not saying it because of the flu. Honestly, you have a real talent for cooking. Olivia turns toward me, her smile still small, but filled with honest joy. You really think so? I nod, even as the soothing warmth of Olivia's soup settles in, and manage to return her meek smile with my own tired one. I know so. Her eyes dart around for anything else to focus on, desperately trying to redirect her fluster. She shakes the flush off her face and checks around for her bag. Well, I'll get going. Going? I thought you were wanting to get caught up on your shows. Well... Remote's right there. It's the least I can do after your help today. What were you wanting to watch? She eyes the remote and the oversized screen on our wall. A few things, nothing in particular. I remember you asking last month for some recommendations, so I've been thinking of a few you might like, but if you're sick and all, I don't want to. Yeah, I'd love to see what you have. My parents probably won't be back to hog it for another few hours. If they come back tonight at all. So it's a pretty good time. You really sure? Sure, I'm sure. Show me all about the deep cultural meaning of animated dinosaur folk cartoons. Oh my god, you're lucky you're sick right now. Yep. Olivia takes the remote and flicks the TV on. After getting over the initial shock of the screen being taller than she is, she navigates to a streaming site and picks some colorful series I'd only seen in passing. This one has a rough pilot, but it gets better a few episodes in, and the animation is top-notch. She flips the first episode on, and an establishing fight scene unravels while Olivia moves back to the couch with me. Then, to my surprise, she hefts herself out of her chair and into the cushion next to me. I move my arm out of the way to make room. Lost in the sauce. Oh, sorry, should have asked. Of course you're welcome to sit. I know, but thanks. We focus back on the show. Well, I do. Olivia's glancing my way after every joke and expensive shot to analyze my reaction. And when it's not for that, it's a forewarning that something a bit cheesy was about to happen. Eventually, the first episode closes. The heroes are ready to begin their journey for real in the following one. The credits scroll, and Olivia swishes her chair aside with her fingertips. So, yeah, it's pretty good, I guess. I don't know, what do you think? I liked it, yeah. Really? Well, they got a whole season. Do you want to see more? Wait, didn't you say you wanted to catch up on your shows? This is the pilot episode. She fumbles the remote in her hands and has to catch it midair. Well, yeah. I just figure you should know what's all going on so you're not lost, you know? But if you want to keep watching this, that's fun too. She quickly pushes the button to start the next episode without my response. Cute is all that runs through my mind at her attempts to cover for her small mistake. She's probably just refreshing her memory and... I wonder why I thought cute fit. Well, it does. Hell, endearing every time she glances over as if I wouldn't enjoy the show. Sure, Mom and Dad aren't in any rush back. The characters on screen freeze. Oh, shoot, did the Wi-Fi go out again? I try to stand up, but a brutishly heavy limb anchors my lap back down. Olivia's tail feels like a boulder across my legs, keeping me from standing. Olivia? I just paused it, Inko. Oh. There's a complicated expression on her face. Is it normal? Is what normal? She chews her lips slowly in consideration. Your parents, like, are they not really going to be back? I shrug. They're always busy with work. I feel a shifting next to me. Olivia's inched herself closer. Like, when I think about it, I barely see them at all. More shifting. I wonder sometimes. The tail shifts onto my abdomen now. Does anyone even care? All the movement has stopped, as if reality itself is paused. Man, I must be more tired than I thought. I feel my head sway as my muscles ease into putty. I'm sure they do. I look at Olivia, who is shoulder to shoulder with me now. I mean, Dad's kind of the same. Olivia chews her lip as she considers her words. He's always busy, too. The whole reason I live with my godparents is because Dad has to travel for work. So he doesn't... I stop myself as I see the faint wetness in Olivia's eyes. Sorry. Her eyes close and a somber sigh escapes her lips. No, it's fine. I get it, Inko. There's a silence hanging over us now. I copy after the sweet girl next to me, letting my eyes slide closed and a sad breath loose. After some time, she breaks the silence with soft and tender words. Of course your parents care. Just like Dad, why else would they work so much? But what about me? I wince at just how pathetic that sounded. It's for you, you doof. How else could you afford all these nice things? Her words grow quieter as time goes on and my body sinks into numbness again. Dad cares enough to work for my sake. Enough to talk to my godparents into letting me live with them. They didn't have to, and yet I'm burdening them. My mind connects the dots. Mr. Halford talked Randy and Sophie into it, which is why I have to be able to live on my own as soon as I can. Because if they don't want me there anymore, that's it for me. I recall just how happy they were to have Olivia rejoin the party. They wouldn't, though. They love you, like Damien and Vinny. She shakes the morose thoughts from her head and then looks at me with serious moonshade eyes. Kiss already. Anyway, you should do the same for your parents and yourself. My world goes horizontal and I find my head atop the comfiest pillow I'd ever felt. I nod, and the nod becomes a nuzzle into said pillow. Above me, Olivia yelps. I try to turn and see what's wrong, but something falls atop my head that keeps it in place. Nothing. The soothingly cool something rubs across my head, drawing me further and further into restful peace. Along with the gentle caresses, a deep vibrato emanates from somewhere, resonating in my tired mind. Okay. With the lulling touch and tone, my eyelids grow heavy. By the time I wake up, Olivia's gone. I check my phone for the time, only to realize it's 4 in the morning. I can't help but groan as I sit up on the couch, but instead of feeling horrible like I had the past few days, I felt surprisingly well. There's no doubt that I have Olivia to thank. Hell, I might even be able to go to school today. I wonder if any of that soup is left. She probably left it in the fridge, right? I shuffle over to the appliance and open up the door, allowing my eyes to adjust to the light. It only takes a second for me to spot a Tupperware container filled with the delicious meal. Nice. I'll have to ask her for the recipe sometime. Thanks to Olivia's advice and cooking, I'd finally made my recovery and returned to school, and I'm glad to be back. I felt like I'd missed so much while I'd been gone, so much that I needed to catch up on. I mean, I did manage to finish all the assignments that Ben had sent to me, but I feel out of the loop with other things, like gossip about me. Damien tried to give me the rundown of it all during PE. I'm still in shock over how bad some of them got. Up to cartel drug running and the FBI's most wanted. I don't think that's even possible in just a week. The end of class bell rings throughout the school, signaling the start of lunch. As everyone in class is packing up their things, Mr. Iadican speaks up. You know what? I'm gonna save. It's been a while. Alright, everyone. Make sure you complete the assignment by next class. You all have a wonderful rest of the day now. Oh, and Inko. I stop at the mention of my name as I throw on my backpack. Could you wait a moment? I have something that I wish to speak with you about. Yeah, of course. Olivia looks back from the classroom entrance, waiting for me. Don't wait up on me. I'll meet you at the table with the others. With a shrug and a nod, Olivia wheels herself out the door and down the hall. Everyone else leaves the classroom until it's just Iadican and I. Please, have a seat. I take the seat closest to Iadican's desk, putting my backpack down as well. Mr. Iadican himself gets out from his chair and walks around his desk, leaning against it. So, I'll be quick about it. I got a job that needs doing. Up. You've missed assignments, and I need makeup work. I need some extra help with something. Something I think you'll be very interested in. Some good friends of mine are getting married in a few short days, and they've hired me to be their photographer. And given the excellent learning experience, child labor, I thought of you. Me? Yes, if you want to, of course. I could always call in some associates to help me out, but I thought that adding in some extra credit would sweeten the deal. What would we be doing? There's a broad smile on his face and a distant look in his eyes. What'd you miss? Was it Inko getting high on bad cold medicine? Yeah, that one happened. You got distracted and ended up reading 7 chapters of Dan to Dan, or more. Well, it's not called I Wani Kiss That Gator. Oh yeah, I've heard of Dan to Dan. It looks really interesting. Well, you'll be my apprentice in this case. You'll not only be helping set up more elaborate photos, you'll also be doing a lot of independent shots. You mean I'll be taking my own pictures? Yup. In fact, you'll be using my SLRs and lenses for this, to keep all the shots uniform. The idea of finally getting to use something like Mr. Iadican's $1,000 cave-on makes my head swim. So, what do you say? Interested? It certainly seems like a hefty task, even if Iadican would be there to help us. Then again, Iadican wouldn't be offering the job if he didn't think I was capable of doing it. This would technically be my first official photography gig. And a wedding photo shoot to boot. It sounds so daunting, yet enticing. I would love to. Alright, sounds like a done deal. After school today, we can talk about it more later. For now, you should be getting along to lunch. Thank you, Mr. Iadican. I give the teacher a nod and grab my backpack. And just as I head out the door, my curiosity gets the better of me. So, who's the lucky couple, if you don't mind me asking? The school nurse, actually. The husband-to-be is also a good friend of mine. Huh, neat. I make a mental note to give my well wishes to the nurse if I see her before the wedding. With that, I wave Mr. Iadican goodbye and head down the hallway. Wait, Friday? But I was gonna practice painting then. I already agreed to go. Even if I didn't, it's real photography. It's not even a question which I should go to, but geez. It's like the universe is conspiring against me to never stop drawing stick figures. I finally meet up with Olivia, who's waiting near the entrance to the cafeteria. The grassy green girl is leaned over, a sour pout scrunching her maw close as she eyes the passerbys. When she notices that I've moved into her airspace, she perks up immediately. Seeing the transformation is surreal, and I chew on my cheek to keep from laughing as I watch her muscular tail wag happily. Finally, took you long enough. Yeah, sorry that took so long. You didn't have to wait for me, by the way. I can manage waiting if it means eating with you. I can feel a smile tug at my lips just from hearing Olivia say that. Mind if I push your chair in? Using me as a battering ram through the crowd now, huh? Yeah, something like that. But only because you asked. But give me your backpack, I'll use it as a shield. When I grab the handles, Olivia moves her tail up to grab my wrist, like at the arcade. Alright, charge. Yes, ma'am. I start marching through the crowd of unruly and famished teens clamoring for their daily meal. Olivia turns her head to me to say something. So what happened with Iadican? You in trouble or something? Huh? Oh, nah. Iadican just had a proposition for some extra credit. Really? What is it? He wants me to join him at a wedding and help him out with a photo shoot. Says he thinks it'll be a good learning experience. Oh, well that sounds pretty interesting. Did you take it? Yep. Could be a good way to hone in on what I know. Plus that extra credit can help make up for the time I was sick. You mean when you nearly overdosed on that cough syrup cocktail you made? Yeah, that. Wait. Oh, what? I didn't say anything. The crowd's too loud here. The baryonyx chuckles to herself. I'm left rolling my eyes, letting her claim victory in this exchange. By the time we've got our lunch, it's a simple matter of locating Damien and Liz by the telephone pole neck. For whatever reason, they're at a more sequestered table today, and when we arrive, it's pretty obvious why. Took you too long enough. Yeah. I expected more from Olivia. Yes, Wimbley? Something more graphic. Instead, Olivia rolls herself the rest of the way, taking her designated spot at the head of the table. I take the spot adjacent to her, all while keeping a wary eye on the pink Parasaurolophus. It seems like Mia's rage against me has simmered down over time, but that air of uncertainty and uneasiness is still wavered around her. The best I can do is act friendly. Hey, Mia, is there something you need? Need? Nah, just here to catch up with my good pal here. While the red-scaled menace turns toward Olivia, her own eyes remain locked on her soggy chicken that she's eating mechanically. I thought you were asking Liz for her homework, though. That, too. Right here, guys. A pair of soda cans are rolled down the table, and I thank Raptor Christ I'm able to catch both before they ram into my tray of questionable lunch meat. You guys were taking a while, so I grabbed the drinks today. No, you didn't. Mia gave those to you. Well, she did it because I thought about doing it. She's trying to bribe you for the math answers I helped you with earlier. Lizzie, I can't believe you would imply something like that about me. But it's true. Hey, free soda is free soda, man. At any rate, the real reason I'm here is, say, Olivia, you leave your phone at home or something. People are trying to contact you all day. Oh. Olivia pulls her phone out from her jacket pocket. I catch a glimpse of her wallpaper, a comical portrait of guts that she probably doodled. Yeah, I ran out of service for the month. The cat just knocked something over. What the hell? You don't got a proper monthly plan? I got more important things to be doing than this, you know. If they want to see Olivia so bad, why send you and not just show up themselves? Shut it. Who's so important for all of this anyways? Who do you think? Ben. Ben wants to talk to Olivia? Huh. Why does he want to talk to Olivia? Is this 20 freaking questions? How the hell should I know what's really going on between my boyfriend and Hot Wheels here? All that matters to me is if Olivia here is gonna fix it or not. I'll think about it. Ugh, whatever. I'm out of here. Smell you later, Gator. The cat wants gasoline? No. Mia storms off, leaving Olivia looking very sour. Things all right with Ben? Olivia rests her arms on the table and slumps her head in. I don't want to talk about it. Where'd her bright mood from before go? Well, anyways, Damien, you really shouldn't condone cheating, even with something as simple as math homework. But you helped me out with it. That's different. I helped you with it, and I think you're getting something out of it. Like the answers. What I mean is, in comparison, Mia's just trying to be lazy and she's only cheating herself. What's the issue then? What's the issue? Yeah, I get free soda, someone you hate tricks herself into saying stupid, and everyone thinks they win. It's great. Water. You scare me sometimes, Damien. I guess I'll have to ask Ben what's going on if I see him later. In the meantime, Olivia's disposition only keeps getting more and more dour. I try to think of something to help her cheer up, but I keep coming up with dead ends on just what could work here. There's gotta be something. I can't just leave her in such a sour mood. Oh, how about that? Hey, so, what's the deal with your phone background? Oh, you noticed it? She flips her phone and shows me the background. Oh, it's a little doodle of guts. Yeah, drew it up the other day. Got the curves just right first try, so it's pretty cool. I'll bet. Is he with you today? Nah, I left him home. How often do you bring him? Not often. Maybe once or twice a semester, and even then it's just when I'm bored. Although once he was in my hoodie when I left for school. Unexpected. It was. Here, I got some pics saved. You're gonna hop off stream and watch something different? That's fine. Have fun, Brody. The screen displays a small creature, sat atop a desk with its skinny tail clutched to its chest tightly. I don't know why, but he holds his tail like that all the time. I feel Damien and Liz hovering behind me, their eyes locked onto the adorably fat creature on screen. I don't know who coos, probably Liz, but Olivia rolls her eyes and swipes to the next picture of the cute pet, now in a transparent ball and looking confused. For the remaining minutes of lunch, we just sit huddled around Olivia's phone, entranced by her sweet little rat as it did the most mundane things. Yet, Gut's method of doing them was way too undeniably cute, and that's what really got to us and made time fly faster than we could even notice. I blink a couple of times and stretch my arms and legs and get up as I get up from my desk. Miss Prockling really knows how to make 40 minutes feel like 80. Well, at least it's time to practice painting. For real, for real. Wait, no. Iadican wrote me into the photo shoot. Can't practice painting, can't get good at anything. Why is it every time I try to actually improve, something like this happens? At this rate, I'll never get good enough to get a real following. I haven't gotten to actually have a whole afternoon to practice at all. Still, there's no way in hell I'm missing this. I ended up meeting with Ben and Iadican right as he was locking his classroom. While our teacher made the assignment, internship, apprenticeship, while he had made it all sound simple, I was still subjected to some paperwork. Something about liability or whatever, something about a liability waiver or something. Just made guacamole. Fun fact, avocados are also named alligator pears. Huh. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Makes sense given how they look. You know, in case something happens to us, like a surprise attack by 5 teenagers in multicolored spandex. I wonder if that happens often. We still filled the form out as the instructor gave an overview of just what exactly Ben and I would be doing. There's a few structures out here, save for one at the edge of the cliff. Ben's the first one out of the cramped car with an armful of telescoping black stands. I follow his example, unloading the vehicle. All right, you two, you remember what you're doing tonight? Yes, sir. After we set up the photo station in the corner of the hall, we'll be taking turns walking the reception, taking pictures of the guests. Perfect. I'll be with the wedding party the entire time. So if you need me, just look for a gaggle of similarly dressed women screeching and you'll find me. He grins as he helps carry the last of the lightest equipment from the truck. Remember, this is actual work, so be polite, be efficient, but most importantly, Ben and I sit upright, at attention, ready for any order our teacher will give us. Have fun. But trust me, the clients will appreciate it more. Finally finished with the unloading, I inhaled the mixed aroma of ocean and flowers. While I find the scent energizing, Ben seems to have the exact opposite reaction. His brows pinch together in disgust as he tries in futility to fan away the air with one hand while covering his nose with the other. Ugh, I think I'm going to be sick. I think I'm going to be the sick one next with this weather. At least the view's great. That it is, yeah. Mr. Iadican leads us through a small garden out front and into the reception hall. It's a spacious wedding tent adorned with all sorts of flora and high-end lighting keeping the place warm and lit. Okay, you guys know how to set up here. I'm going to get to business. Yes, sir. He leaves us, stepping into the ongoing ceremony with a primed camera and tripod. Ben and I exchange a single glance before we both resign ourselves to the daunting task. First on the list is the telescopic stands for the cameras. From experience, it doesn't take us too long to get those into place. Next are the reflectors and strobe lights, all packed in heavy cases that have to be hauled inside. By my third case, I'm already exhausted. Shoot, I thought gym class would have prepared me for this. Bzzzt. My phone buzzes. Might as well take a breather. Opening up the notification, I discover it's from Olivia. Hey, Shades. Hey, Olivia, you got service back? Oh, I lied about that. Face. Saw you leave with the Iadican after school. What's up with that? I'm helping him with a wedding photo shoot. You? At a wedding? Did Iadican give you a better jacket for it? My jacket is cool enough. So where at? Teach said it was someplace called Clarkson Lookout on the way over. Wait, really? That place has a bunch of scenic views. If you see any good landscape shots, take one for me. Sure, if I get the time. No, do it now. Cute and threatening message received. Geez, well this is as good a spot as any. The sun's starting to set, so it does make for some pretty nice atmosphere. Maybe Olivia wants to paint another landscape. In the distance I see a few sailboats and yachts. Further beyond a freighter or two. The seas are crowded these days. I take the picture and send it over to Olivia. Thanks. I can't picture thanking me like that in reality. The thought alone of her doing something in so sweet a manner. Inko, this thing weighs like 80 pounds. I'm not doing all the work. Alright. I let my camera hang loose around my neck while assisting Ben with setting up the last of the standing reflectors. Setting up meant not only the cameras, but a large chunk of the incomplete decor prep, which meant carrying out loads and loads of heavy cases loaded with strobes, reflectors, cloth sheets, and so many telescoping pole stands. Following his instructions, Ben had set up a small red carpet path leading to a glamour shot station. And meanwhile, I was finishing making sure the marked out spots within the room had the right combination of flash strobe and/or reflector. You're about to start unlocking the Peacekeeper for Battlefield 1. Those who know will probably understand the suffering that you're about to endure. I don't, but it sounds rough. Good luck. As the guests start walking down Ben's handmade path, I skirt along the edge with my borrowed high-end camera. The DSLR's clicks are muted compared to the chattering guests, and while I think I managed to catch some decent shots, I'm just not really feeling it today. Is something wrong with me? And voila! Ben was having a much easier time working at the makeshift studio we'd built in the corner. Couples would simply walk up and stand before the backdrop of the massive window to the cliffside and ocean. And Ben had the brilliant idea to not only set up Iadican's lone camera, but also his own so he'd capture the couples from 2 angles at once. He looked happy with each and every shot he took, and the people always chatted him up right after. And here I am, doing my best not to scowl as I look over the blurry shot I had messed up. The beeping will never end. Oh no. Blurry because my hands are shaking. I guess I'm I hadn't noticed until now that my main messaging app had been going off. So, is it going well? Hardly. I think Ben's turning it into a competition. Are you winning? No, not really. Beat him for me? That wasn't a real message. I try to ignore my phone for now. I don't think anything will calm my nerves at this point. That feeling of anxiety only grows as time marches on. I can't seem to get any one picture just right, and Ben zooming around as efficiently as he is isn't helping. Well, that's not all. Olivia's messages are just throwing me off. Just break his flashing stick thingy, lol, then his pics will be super dark. How out of date is Olivia to think we still use flash pans? Or lock him in a bathroom or something. I don't think that's sportsmanlike, or legal. Oh, I just remembered, I need another pic. Can you try shoving him into the wedding cake and taking a pic of him smashed on the floor? I need it for, Muse. That. Do it for me? Come on, that's just violence. Just barely within my peripheral vision, I spot a perfect shot of an older couple, the parents of the groom, I believe. There, that's a good chance. I bring the borrowed camera up, look through the viewfinder, and see that the parents have already moved away and into another group. The camera slips from my grip, but luckily the neck strap holds it safely against my chest. Okay, I need a break. I find an appropriate place to sneak outside and go around the building, slumping down against the brick siding. It's really twilight now. The ocean's reflection of the sun is getting very close to meeting the real thing. My phone buzzes once more and something in me jumps. It's not fear though, I just wish I knew what it was. No comment. Olivia sends a video of Guts running around a maze that she put together using cardboard and school supplies. When he comes out the other end, she gives him a grape to bite in her palm. I was never really fond of rodents, but seeing Olivia's videos and little doodles is really starting to sway me. There's something about seeing Olivia having such a strong bond with Guts and caring for him that warms my heart. It's hard to believe that this is the same girl that used to give me nothing but icy stares when I first met her. I'm glad she feels comfortable enough with me to let her defenses down and be herself. As I continue snapping photos, my trek around the hall to find good photo ops leads me to the stage where the DJ once was. Shame that I didn't get any good shots of him while he was here. Maybe Ben got some decent pictures. Looking through the camera lens, I see that there's a gentleman sitting on the steps that lead up to the stage, finishing off a cigarette. There's someone over on the steps taking a deep drag of a cigarette and blowing the smoke up towards the window. A truly iconic display of suavity. Before I know it, I've taken several shots. He seems like he wants to be left alone, but he doesn't mind, right? Hey, kid. At least get my good side, will ya? Oh. I step closer, readjusting my camera settings and scrambling for an explanation. Sorry about that. I was unsure if you wanted the attention. It's alright. People say I got a kind of a resting bitch face. Though I can't lie, I'm pretty exhausted, kid. Especially after I had to carry the new missus down the aisle all the way to the car. Ah, so this is the groom. You gonna take a photo or what? Oh, right, sorry. As I raise my camera, the groom takes a thinker-esque pose, taking a drag from his cigarette. After a few clicks and a couple of slight adjustments to my position, I believe I got some pretty good shots in there. There we are. The groom blows out a plume of smoke from his mouth before leaning over to see the captures. It smells like a Vegas hotel. I went to Vegas one time. It was awesome. I gave the groom time to look at each photo thoroughly before moving to the next one. These are pretty good, kid. Managed to make this mug of mine look halfway decent. He lets out a scratchy chuckle as he takes another puff from his cigarette before stuffing what little was left of it onto the floor. Thanks. Say, if you don't mind me asking, what are you doing all the way over here? It's your big day, isn't it? As the groom lets out another plume, he's already begun to dig up another cigarette. Lighting the new cig casually, he begins to inhale it. And keep inhaling it. He holds up a finger as he continues inhaling until the cigarette is finished, and he finally exhales a stream of lung cancer slowly over the course of 30 seconds. Sir? Of course it is, I'm just having a little rest is all. I mean, this has been the happiest day in my life, but it's tiring as all hell. The missus is certainly having fun, and yet in a few hours, when we're in our new no longer bachelor pad, I'll be listening to her as she moans about how sore she is. The groom lets out another plume of smoke, this time through his nostrils. But hey, if that's the price I gotta pay, holy matrimony and all that jazz. It definitely feels like the groom is laying it on a bit thick to who is essentially a stranger to him, and yet I can understand what he means. You can't count how often you went to Las Vegas? That's awesome. I definitely have to go back sometime. You know, you've been going around the whole reception snapping photos. Why don't you take a break too? He motions his hand to the nearby stage as an available seat. I settle myself onto the stage as the groom fiddles with the small packet. Looking closer, it's still a sealed pack of cigarettes. Trent told me a bit about you, you know? Who? Your camera teacher, or whatever he's called at your school. Says you're a good kid and all, though a bit clueless. Hey. The groom lets out another guffaw as he cracks open the pack of cigs and plucks out a fresh cancer stick. His words, not mine. How'd you know him? We've known each other for ages. He actually helped me meet the missus. Funny how that works out. Whoa, Mr. Iadican was your wingman? He always hated how I told him that. I'd given him a lift to some field trip he had to chaperone. I don't know why, he could have taken the school bus. But as soon as I got there, I met the rest of his co-workers, including my would-be wife. Taro prick tricked me into also chaperoning too, saying I could use the time to get to know her better. Jeez, maybe I should be asking him. Well, no, I can't. Can't what? Nothing important. Have a teacher tell you how to court a lady friend, right? Hey, no. Another one of his students? Your classmate, yeah? It's not like that. Ah, come on, I know you want to talk about girls. That's always fun. Humor me a bit. She's just a good friend. The words taste bitter on my tongue for some reason. Sure, kid, sure. We got a few more minutes of quiet while Bridezilla and her maids murder fight over the bouquet. I quickly glance over to see a woman twice my age wielding a folding chair like it was a battle axe. Trent can't help you there, but I can. So this good friend of yours, what's she like? Well, it's a bit of a complicated history. Oh? I mean, when I first met her, she was very cynical and sarcastic. Well, she's still sarcastic, but in a lighthearted way. Even with her friends, she was a little distant. But when she's painting or gushing on about some franchise of obscure anime, there's this unashamed excitement and passion in it. Like, I haven't met anyone with that kind of energy before. Once you get to know her, she's just nice under it all. That everything? Well, yeah. I think she drew me carrying her once. Well, shoot. He slides the ring off his finger and holds it up to me. You want this? Sounds like you need it more than me. Kidding, I'm kidding. But dang, sounds pretty cut and dry to me. Never had a crush before? Not on anyone I know personally. Your folks together? Yeah. They love each other too, yeah? Yeah, I guess they do. You guess? It's complicated. They're around so little, I don't even know what their love looks like, how they interact, if they even love each other at all. They've never told me their story, why they're together. Anything that would prepare me for the future was outsourced. As far back as I can remember, whenever my parents weren't around, there was a screen nearby, and they weren't around often. I've always had that little electronic friend in my pocket telling me how great I was at everything. That's been my only help to get through life. All the best ways to have the best friendships, hobbies, romance. But it feels worthless now. I'm not prepared. I don't even know if what this is love. This guy seems to think so, though. He'll help me out. I see him putting some words together now. Let me give you a little anecdote, kid. The groom finally lights the cigarette, though this time he's slow to puff on it. See my beautiful bride over there. He motions with the dull ember of his smoke to where the bridesmaids were still violently wrestling and the bride acted as a referee. Even if we had never met and this was a happenstance meeting, I'd see her over there, and I just know I love her. Yeah? Yup. Is that it? Yeah. Aren't you trying to give me a little push? Convince me I like this girl? You're the one who wanted advice. There it is. I thought you were gonna go on a bit more about love. Why the hell would I give a speech about love? I know what it is. You know what it is. But there's no groundbreaking advice that'll make everything make sense, and you don't need me to convince you. You're just looking for reasons to not believe what's right in front of you. Oh. Break's over. Gotta run. The man gets up, dusting off his pants and flicking the cigarette butt into the trash. Hey, take some great pictures for me, will ya? No more moping. You're on the clock. He jogs into the crowd to meet up with his bride. My phone buzzes in my pocket. What timing? I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone, squinting at the screen. An unread notification from our group chat. Shoot, do I have time to be on my phone right now? Maybe I can talk to Damien about this. He's known Olivia for a while. Ben and Olivia used to be friends too, right? Would he be able to help? I should probably focus on what I'm here to do. Besides, I don't want to let the groom down. But this is Olivia we're talking about. I don't want to do anything without knowing as much as I can. I need to focus and finish taking these photos. I have never actually picked this option before. Can't afford to slack off right now. Besides, I made a promise to the groom and I don't want to let him down. Or Mr. Iadcan, for that matter. I silence my phone and slide it into my jacket pocket, pushing off the wall and taking a hold of my camera. Where should I even start? I think I have a few ideas. With the groom's words still ringing in my ear, I find a second wind of sorts. I can't really understand it. I feel like I'm already picking out prime shots from just scanning over the hall. While Ben has continued his more autonomous rapid-fire approach with the staccato clicking of his snapshots, I've been singling out couples on their own moments, just scattered throughout. I think some of them have even noticed, seeming to maneuver themselves out of the Parasaur's view. Young man, over here. An elderly dino catches my attention, waving me to her table, oops, where she and her family are sitting. We need a good Christmas card photo if you would be so kind. Of course, ma'am. The large group moved to one side of the table for me, smiling sincerely at my lens. The first shot seemed perfect, but for their sake I make sure to take a couple extra. Thank you. Do you know how long these will take to be developed? The photos should be developed fairly quickly. We'll be sure everyone gets these before the end of the month. They smile and nod, letting me return to, don't forget us. Yeah, get me and my wife. My next client's pulling me aside to take shots of them in a secluded corner. And after that, some of the bridesmaids have grabbed me to take shots for them. It isn't long before even some of the servers are wanting pictures of themselves posing in front of decorations. Somehow I'm able to squeeze my way out of the mayhem and make my way towards the back of the venue in order to get some much-needed fresh air. Shortly after, I notice Ben doing the same thing, though he manages to do so far more gracefully by talking his way out of whatever request the wedding-goers have for him. Makes me wish I was better at communicating and asserting myself in these kinds of situations. Ben takes notice of me and approaches at a very casual pace, with no one else seemingly taking notice of him. Taking a breather? I just give Ben a nod of my head, causing him to smile and adjust his glasses with his index finger. Well, the wedding's almost finished, so the worst of the workload is behind us. That was good. Ben checks his phone. 8 hours, jeez. Man, yeah, my legs are starting to hurt. You're telling me you don't even have a tail. How do you think I feel? We sigh together. It's the first bit of silence we've had in a while. Across the room, the bride slumps into a chair, trying to kick her heels off. The groom sees me and shrugs a bit, smirking. So, how are you feeling about the pictures that you've taken? Hmm? Eating a homemade hot ham and cheese sandwich. Hey, Brody, welcome back. You dare to photograph the wedding of the mighty monarch without favoring his good side? I think I'm pretty confident in mine. Once you have the right equipment, it's just a matter of socializing right and getting the right shots for these sorts of events. I'm satisfied. You? Honestly, I'm not sure. I've been taking all these pictures right, but it's like... something's missing. Missing? You make it sound like some grand art thing. I know. Back across the room, the bride motions to her new husband. It looks like it's the time of night for him to carry her out in his arms like in all the movies. She was probably not expecting those slick moves to position her on his back like a child. He laughs to himself while she pouts loudly and holds onto his hair to keep balance. Aww. It looks juvenile, honestly, as the bride taps at the exhausted groom's head with balled-up fists, but he's laughing. A laugh so infectious that her pout is replaced with delighted giggles of her own when he finally catches her hand in his and just holds it. Once again, they're talking, and the bride is melting into putty at his quiet words. For how menial it is, and how crude that guy was earlier, that understanding and genuine playfulness between them. Without a thought, I'm already looking through the viewfinder and making the focusing adjustments for the perfect shot. The shot is cheesy, but sincere. They both look beyond exhausted, their clothes showing the wear and tear of the night and their body language screaming their need for sleep. His tail is a- Oh, you're right, his tail is a butterfly! I would not have noticed that, probably. Can't wait for Snoot Game Encore. Yeah, I've seen stuff for that. I don't know, how it's gonna be, but it looks really interesting. Why'd you do what? Huh? Do what? You took a picture just now. Did I? When did my finger get placed over the shutter button? I guess I did. I checked the new entry in the camera roll. Careful, that's an easy way to waste a lot of memory. Should probably just delete it. Delete it, huh? I think it'll be fine. I actually got a good feeling about it. It seemed pretty natural, you know? Ben rolls his eyes. If you say so. Before the parasaur turns to go back to his assembly line photo taking, I grab his shoulder. By the way, Ben. Mia stopped by our lunch table earlier today to complain to Olivia? Oh boy. Said you were trying to call her, but was upset that she wasn't picking up. I don't want to pry into your personal business, but aren't you two on bad terms? Huh? What are you talking about? What? I haven't spoken to Olivia in ages. Huh. I thought you were above gossip, Inko. Sorry, Alright, you boys ready to pack up? Pretty long night, huh? Our teacher looks haggard as he steps up to us. His wings are dragging on the floor and he's propping himself up with one of the light stands that we brought. Despite his exhaustion, he's grinning wildly. You two enjoy your first work experience? Oh, absolutely, Mr. Iadican. I managed to load up both of the memory cards you gave me, and I even managed to try out the different kinds of lenses that you brought. Good to hear, Ben. What about you, Inko? Well, if I'm being honest with you, it took a while for me, Mr. Iadican. Well, I suppose it's a tough order to start with. So many things to account for, and... no, I meant that I didn't really get that many good shots till the end, Mr. Iadican. I didn't even finish the first card you'd given me. I see. Well, when we go through these next week, I'm sure they'll be fine. Oh, definitely. The groom saunters up with a huge grin on his face, slinging an arm around our teacher's shoulders. I can't wait to see these. Iadican straightens up and shrugs the arm off, turning to the newly married man. You'll see them when you see them. My team still needs to go through all the pictures and weed out the chaff. Ah, come on, T. Can't you give your buddy a preview or something? Iadican sighs a bit. Hey, it's your special day. Ben, could you fetch the laptop and the card reader? Yes, sir. Inko, while he's doing that, can you start packing up everything into the trunk? Sure thing, Mr. Iadican. Before I turn away to start, the tired Taro takes the camera from me. We can sit at that table over there. The two older men head off, leaving Ben and I to get started on packing everything up. While Ben and I are busy dismantling the multitude of standing flashes and lamps, the bridegroom and Mr. Iadican sits at a cleaned-up table with a laptop before them. I can't really make out what they're saying, but I can kind of tell based on the way the three switch between quietly focused and laughing loudly. By the time the back of the car is loaded up, the last of the wedding party has departed. Nothing left to do, Ben and I linger a bit behind the group. Yeah, these came out pretty dang great. Thanks again for... Hello, what's this? The laptop displays that last picture I took, somewhat unintentionally. He scans the photo with a critical eye. He nods and chuckles with approval. Okay, kid, good job. Be sure to print this one out for me, Trent. I'm gonna put it in my wallet. Sure. Despite how lackluster his compliment is, I can't help but feel proud of my work. It's been a while since I felt like this. 1 point achieved. Either way, it's not long before we climb into the car and begin our journey back to the school. I settle into the rhythmic motions of the car as it glides along the road. The cityscape of Volcadera Bluffs passes by, and I can't help but admire it. The mood is quickly killed, however, as Ben calls a certain red-scaled girl. The saccharine lovey-dovey talk makes my head hurt, and I can guess by his expression that Iadican feels the same way. He changes the subject by asking if my parents can pick me up. Looks like I'll be taking the late-night metro home. Still, I had fun today. I bring out my own phone, noticing the half a dozen messages Olivia had sent while I was busy. Are you winning yet? Better be. Guts bet me some sunflower seeds that Ben would win. While there were more messages, that one in particular had me thinking. I mean, it wasn't a competition to begin with, but there's also the fact that the groom hadn't complimented any of Ben's shots, so... Collect your winnings, Olivia. Dancing gator emoji. Good job, Agent. You deserve a reward for your hard work. Reward? What kind of... Oh my. Would she really? She knows that I'm with Ben and Iadican. The interior of the car feels a few degrees warmer as I await with bated breath. Inko, you okay? You're breathing pretty hard. Fine, I'm perfectly fine, just car sick. I make sure there's absolutely no way anyone except me can view my screen. As extra protection, I dim the brightness of it to the point that only I'd be able to see a thing in the darkness of the car. Finally, Olivia's text comes through. I hold my breath before opening my eyes to see... Number 1, big boy. Right. Dancing gator. Mr. Iadican, I think Inko's about to vomit. Not in here. In hindsight, I should have seen that coming, seeing as I'm in love with her and all. Damn my hormones. Even though we're pretty far into the fall season, today is a nice day out. Okay, saving again. He's the Burger King. You kind of want to actually hear Mia make lovey-dovey talk and not just hear it happens. Besides, would Inko want to listen in for anything he might want to use on Olivia later? That's a good point. We do kind of hear her talk to Ben like that in the route where Inko ends up doing Saturday detention with her. And frankly, it's sickening. It also seems fake. Like, I really get the feeling that she's just using Ben because of his position in the school. There's a storm coming in later today with a cold front, so the temperatures outside are bearable enough to relax in. One last respite before the unforgiving cold of winter settles in. I decide to celebrate by eating lunch outside. After a good bit of prodding, Olivia joined me. Inko, it's too cold. It'll freeze my veins solid. It's 70 degrees and you already agreed. Calm down. We step out into the chilled air. She pulls the drawstrings of her hoodie taut, yanking it shut again. When I try moving her along, she starts dragging her tail on the ground. You're secretly enjoying this, aren't you? That hoodie isn't hiding your silly little grin. There's a table by the edge of the yard that looks pretty good. Now it's just the two of us. Bill Withers, alone. Sitting at a picnic table in complete silence. Ingenious one-liners flow through my head like a slam poetry champion, yet I can't work up the will to say anything about the wedding to her. I guess there's always later. So, Olivia. The gator lifts her head from her roast beef sandwich, staring directly at me. What's up? How about this weather? Seriously? Yeah, seriously, I'm not used to coastal towns, so this is a nice change of pace. Well, it's pretty chilly. Part of why we're the only ones out here. It is pretty empty out here today. Maybe it's like a human dino thing, more acclimated to snow. Even with the hoodie, it's a lot colder than I'd like. Oh, why'd you agree to come outside with me? Well, he wanted to, and I... And you? Olivia's lips quiver a little as she tries to work out words to say. Her mouth isn't up to the task as a flush of scarlet spreads across her cheeks and makes her pouting lips glow. Hey, stop looking at me like that. I mean, where are you from, then? The Midwest. The Midwest? Only loons come from the Midwest. Oh, come on, that's not true. Alright, what was it like, then? A lot of empty promises, nothing worth talking about. What was St. Hammond like before I showed up? Ugh, horrible. Everybody here sucked. Well, they still do, I guess, but seriously, most of the faculty had a stick up their ass and the student body was holding on for dear life. Inko, it's too cold out. I'll share my body heat with you. Oh, whoa, okay. I'd do anything to get out of this place, if I got to take you and Damien with me. Wow. Colorful. Olivia and I freeze at the familiar voice. The sound of stone grinding on stone echoes through the courtyard as we turn our heads toward whoever said that. Principal Scalar stands just as still as us, her face burning red. Though her jaw is moving, teeth grinding exceptionally loud as she looks at Olivia. Next to her stands a large whale dressed in formal attire. I guess Mr. Ferris is still doing that inspection. And did he hear? What were you just saying? And what were you saying just now about student morale, Principal Scalar? He doesn't even look up from his clipboard as he begins jotting down something with a pencil. I said had. Ever since Principal Scalar took over as our principal, things have gotten better. Olivia's words do little to make Scalar's face lessen in both color, intensity, and heat. Yeah, I have to say, this school's way better than my old one by at least a country mile. So, Mr. Inko, would you say that your time in St. Hammond since your transfer has been both fruitful and comfortable? I mean, compared to my old school, I've met good friends, I've had excellent teachers and classes, and have had an all-around good time. Also, the cafeteria food is great here. It actually tastes like food and not microwave reheated gruel. Mr. Ferris gives me a nod and writes something else on his notepad before turning to face Olivia. What about you, Miss Olivia Halford, was it? Got any more comments regarding St. Hammond? Do be honest, if you please. Olivia shoots me a quick glance before taking a deep breath. Well, the school needs more handicap access ramps. Also, the elevator in the main building is busted. Sometimes they get stuck for a few minutes. Also, our PE teacher steals hats from students and hoards them in the equipment shed. I can almost feel the heat emanating from Principal Scalar's face as soon as Olivia finishes lodging her complaints. Wouldn't want to be around her after Ferris's visit is over. For his part, Mr. Ferris only nods and writes more down on his clipboard before turning back to face Scalar, who does her best to turn her grimace into some kind of smile. Seems like there are some issues left over from the previous administration. Are you already taking care of correcting the issues Miss Halford has pointed out? Principal Scalar nervously clears her throat. I've already sent in a request to the district to have the elevator looked at by a technician. Mr. Ferris nods and writes something else on his clipboard before clicking his pen and stuffing it into his front suit pocket. I'll have to talk to the superintendent about that request next time I'm at the office. What about this PE teacher Miss Olivia mentions? Oh, Mr. Coach Solly? Ferris raises an eyebrow. It's his legal name, I know. He checks the page, then sighs a bit. Right. Ferris turns to face me. Well, that's enough about St. Hammond for the time being. Mr. Inko, how would you say things are going for you? Not just as a student, but also as a growing adult. Honestly, at the start of the year, I'd have told you things weren't looking too good. But I've met some really good friends here at St. Hammond, and I feel like things will be okay for us. I can't help but look towards Olivia as I say that. She stares back in a faint expression of surprise, but it quickly melts away into a warm smile. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. Ferris looks up from his clipboard towards us, a smirk forming on his otherwise flat face. I'm glad to hear you two are doing well. The Leviathan finishes jotting down something on his clipboard, finally turning to Principal Scalar. I think I have everything I need for the time being. So, Mr. Ferris, why don't we adjourn to the faculty lounge? Of course, we can go over your future budgetary plans over a nice cup of coffee. The inspector turns away, Principal Scalar lagging behind him with a look of pure misery on her face. I wish he'd done this freshman year. With a huff and a frown, Olivia stabs at her lunch tray, treating her Caesar salad like a voodoo doll. Well, look on the bright side. She levels her silver eyes on me, but remains focused on treating her salad like its namesake. It's senior year and we're about halfway through, so we only have to put up with this place for a couple more months. She lances the largest piece of chicken, twisting her spork roughly. And, wait a minute, she's eating a Caesar salad. Is that a plot hole? Or is she only picking the chicken out of it? Need a pro tag that is unreasonably passionate about Transformers or other niche content. Then what? Then what? All I know about Transformers is that Starscream is the best character, and I will fight you on this. I guess, I don't really have any concrete plans for after school. What do you mean? You mentioned all that stuff about making a name for yourself. Why is a Carno like Olivia eating a salad anyway? Exactly. I think it might be a plot hole. They might have just put that detail in there because they wanted to make the Caesar joke. I mean, yeah, when I first got here, that was the goal. But honestly, I haven't considered what I was going to do to get there. It's my turn to toy with my meal. You? I plan on getting an art degree. Whoa, really? Online, of course. Oh. Not like I have any other options. The only time I'm worth anything is when there's a brush in my hand. Only classes I'm really passing, too. I nod my head in understanding, but... she's talking about her future, but it sounds more like resignation than a declaration. I at least have something, even if the path to my goal is vague. The morose mood leaves me at a loss for words. Damn it, I was hoping to actually use this time to... I don't know. I wanted to talk to Olivia and, ask her something? Or something like that. Stupid Mr. Ferris and his workplace politics dampening the mood. Reasonable favorite character. Thanks. The air between us is awkward as we pick at our lunch, and even after the bell rings, we're forced to finish eating. It's still weird. Even when I ask Olivia if Olivia would like a push to Even when I ask Olivia if she would like a push to history, she just remains silent in thought. Olivia has been quiet for about 5 minutes now. Even though 5 minutes isn't that long of a time, Olivia had grown so much chattier as of late, so the silence just feels a bit off-putting to me. A part of me couldn't help but wonder if it's a cold shoulder directed at me or just remaining nerves from that last conversation. No use thinking about it. So, penny for your thoughts, Olivia? Oh, right. Sorry, I guess I'm not here right now. What were you thinking about exactly? Olivia lets out a sigh and turns her head upward so that her eyes meet mine. I really got thinking about what we were talking about earlier, how it seems like neither one of us knows what we'll exactly be doing after school is over. Oh right, yeah, that. I hadn't really given much thought to the fact that I had essentially dropped a bombshell on both of us. You prefer Skywarp? I'm not actually sure who that is. Is he from one of the later series? Now that I really stopped to think about it, though, the idea that neither one of us really knows what to do after graduation is concerning. Most seniors at least have a small idea of what they'll want to do after graduation, at least I think. Hell, Liz had made a full chart and a timeline for herself. I mean, I always figured I'd go to college, but that feels so basic, for lack of a better word. There should be some kind of grander plan on what to do with the next big step in life. University, a career, maybe even starting some kind of family. Those are the kinds of plans that come to mind. They're all just simple platitudes at the end of the day, though. Is it even worth making plans? The more I think about it, the more likely it is that something stupid just comes out of left field and wrecks everything. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans and all. You mostly remember him from the animated Bumblebee movie and the Bumblebee movie. Okay. Seen a drawing of Liz and Liv at lunch. Liz going all, I fucking love salad. Don't you love salad too, Olivia? While Olivia just looks at her sadly. Oh, he was in the older shows? Yeah, I actually need to sit down and watch the entire thing. I've mostly just seen, like, compilations and stuff. I just really like his energy. So maybe all I can really do then is live in the moment. I always hated that sort of thinking. Just be a sitting duck for life to take potshots at me? Just live pretending death can't show up and take me at any time? Hey, it's Olivia! And friend. Olivia stiffens in her chair. Oh, hey, Mia. Olivia's words are a hiss as she tries to face away from the crimson-scaled girl. Her hands shakily strain against the wheels of her chair, slowly turning it too. Got a couple of questions to ask you, Olivia. Would you like to humor me for a bit? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't mind. The pterosaur saunters up with a sway of her hips pushes me aside as she takes Olivia's reins from me. What the hell? You're insane if you think we're going with you anywhere. We? She looks down to Olivia and back at me. I am Inko for Transformers confirmed. Yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely. Actually. We. He's funny. We're just going for a little girl talk. No boys allowed. Sorry. You're up for that, right, Liv? She puts a hand on her shoulder and cocks an eyebrow back at me like she knows something. So yeah, we'll just be a moment. Don't worry that pretty little head of yours. She thinks he's pretty. I'm left gawking and confused as the two head off in another direction. Olivia doesn't seem to know what to say or do either, so she just goes along with the parasaur wheeling her away. Part of me wants to give chase, but the side eye that Mia sends back at me forces me to stop. I feel useless as I watch the two turn the corner. My thoughts of what I want to do, going after the pair, are betrayed by my body, still frozen by the icy glare from Mia. Damn it, I'll just get to class and ask what this is all about later. By the time I get to Prockling's history class, I'm half expecting to find Olivia already waiting for me, some kind of remark primed and ready to be spoken to me. But instead, she isn't there. I reluctantly take my seat, tapping my foot impatiently. Even when the bell comes and goes, there's still no sign of her. Shit. I shouldn't have let Olivia go with her alone. What the hell was I thinking? I really don't want to cut class, but I can't afford anything bad happening to her. So I had some old recordings of my old PNG model doing this part before I decided to start streaming instead of uploading edited Let's Plays. And something that I said verbatim with no context was, yeah, he really shouldn't have let Mia take her away like that. What if she pushes her down the stairs or something? The foreshadowing is so strong I was even doing it somehow. I really don't want to cut class, but I can't afford anything bad happening to her. Nope, I can't sit and do nothing. I shoot my hand up into the air, causing Mrs. Prockling to pause mid-lecture. Yes, Mr. Nito? Miss Prockling, can I please be excused? Why? Class barely started a few minutes ago. Because I shat myself. Fuck! I'm halfway out the door. Where did they go? There's not a soul to be found anywhere. If I were a bitch, where would I harass somebody in secret? Shoot, whatever's between them, I hope it isn't turning physical. I mean, she wouldn't, would she? My hands clench tighter and tighter as I focus on walking faster. Finally, something snaps me out of my trance. The faint sound of squeaking metal. I've heard that sound before. I turn towards the source, just beyond the door of a nearby classroom. Judging by the paraphernalia covering the door, I think this is the algebra room. I grab the handle and haphazardly throw the door open, praying that I'm not about to rudely interrupt a teacher for the second time today. It looks like shit. How am I supposed to... Should be happy it's done. Two heads turn to me in a mix of anger and surprise, and they're the heads of the girls I was looking for. Stairs, the greatest enemy of Charles Xavier. Wait, did that actually happen? All I know about X-Men is, like, stuff that I've seen in the Deadpool movies and, stuff from the old cartoon, the 90s one. It's like a sudden three-way standoff. I was definitely not intended to be a factor in whatever this is. I really should have thought about that before barging in. Thank Raptor Jesus she's okay. What the fuck are you doing here? I should ask you two the same question. Oh my... Look, Baldy, now's not the time. Don't talk to him like that. Yeah, or what? I told you not to be followed. You were there when we left. He just heard you screaming like a maniac. I've been forgotten already. Hey. Why are you two in an empty classroom yelling at each other? The two fall deafeningly silent, unwilling or unable to speak. Oh, that actually did happen? Currently looking for unused Mia sprites. There probably are some. I notice a piece of paper in Mia's hand. It looks like something's drawn on it. The style is different, but it's unmistakably one of Olivia's works. Mia, why do you have her drawing? The parasaur stops blinking for a few seconds before shoving the paper in her jacket. Before I can question it any further, Olivia speaks up. Inko, why did you come here? You seemed like you were in trouble. How touching. Well, we're all in trouble now. We? Yeah, dumbass. I don't have time for this. Hot Wheels, fill him in. What's the big issue? Olivia claws at her armrests again. She looks ready to cry. Hey, where'd all your vicious bravado go? Are you afraid to tell him? Afraid of what he'll think? Shut up! Precious, fine. I'll say it. Mia turns to me with a malicious grin. I know about what this prick did during the yearbook art contest. Now, ordinarily, I wouldn't give two shits. But then it hit me. Holy shit, she can just get away with it. How crazy is that? She pauses, goading me to say otherwise, but I bite my tongue. Like a shark smelling blood, she starts to circle me, continuing her taunts. Then, one thing leads to another, now we're helping each other out. After all, if the school found out, it'd leave a permanent mark on her unemployable ass. What? Yours too, probably, since you're involved and all. My teeth creak painfully from my clenched jaw, and yet the blood drained from my face. I'm talking about her record, you mouth breather. Art's her big break, right? Skipping the whole rigmarole, the gist of it's simple. So Olivia draws up some BS group projects for me and some friends of mine, turns them in, and I make sure the whole incident goes away. I managed to earn back some of the feeling in my consciousness. Just long enough to defy her. Inko just publicly claimed to have shat himself for Olivia's sake. She owes him big. But that's blackmail and cheating. That's wrong. Oh my god, that's fucking precious. Mia blinks a few times before turning to look at Olivia, and then back to me, and then back to Olivia. What, are you disappointed in her now? I bet you made her pinky swear she would never do anything like that again. She leans closer to me, faux whispering. Well, sorry to break the news, Inko, but your friend here is a liar. Don't listen, I wouldn't be... She was threatening me. Threatening? Honey, if we were swapped, you'd see my ass hang. All I'm doing is making things better for the both of us. Not my fault you tried to get away with cheating. You'd think a cripple like you would have more shame than that. I watch as Olivia's eyes start twitching. Mia's really starting to get to her. I can't let her keep talking to her like that. Mia, just stop it, okay? She really doesn't need this right now. Can't you both just walk away and pretend this never happened? Shit, Inko, you're good. You hear that, Olivia? Wait, but I didn't mean... Olivia's staring at me with a look of betrayal that threatens to tear my heart in two. God damn it, why can't I stop talking for once? Mia waves me off, turning to face her target once more. I bet you'd love to walk away from this, but things just don't work out that way, do they? Oh, that's why you didn't want Inko knowing you're still a dirty cheater. Shut up! Oh, relax, it's not a big deal. No, I'm sick of this. You already admitted it. Art's my big break. You're only doing this because it's all I have. Your record is fucked. You lose nothing if we get caught. It's Tuesday for you. But me, it's all I have. You're embarrassing yourself. You know I can't lift, or run, or carry, or dance, or fucking anything you do on a daily basis without even thinking about it. I can't ever do anything else because of these fucking legs and this fucking chair. Why can't any of you just leave me alone? I just want to draw, for God's sake. Mia rolls her eyes and takes a step closer to Olivia. That's a nice outburst and all, sweetie, but I really thought you were smarter than this. Olivia wipes away at her eyes with her sleeve. What? Mia takes another step forward. Think, handbag. Would I really go through the trouble of making you do this junk for middling grades? If your work were crap, you wouldn't have a record to hold over you. Everyone knows you're the best artist in this place. You're just a retard about it. Olivia's mouth hangs open, but no words come out. You're not the kind of idiot to let this sort of comment get to you, so let me be the first to say. Congratulations, Olivia. You have a fan. Anyways, Inko. Oh crap. Distractions aside, you're in on it now too. You don't want Olivia to starve now, would you? Her words, not mine. Say a damn word about any of this and she's doomed. Do you understand me? I try to muster up words of defiance, but just past Mia's stare of death, I spot Olivia's horrified expression. Hello, Baldy. I'm waiting for your answer, Skinny. I honestly don't know what to say or do in this situation. No? Excuse me? Let me think this over with Olivia. Think this over? You dense or something? This is a simple yes or no question. You can't seriously frickin'... Mia pinches the bridge of her snoot and lets out a tired sigh. Fine. The two of you talk it over and reach some kind of resolution. But that doesn't change the fact of what I said earlier, Inko. Don't say I don't do nothing nice. But think carefully, amigo. You both got a hell of a lot more to lose than I do. Mia only gives me and Olivia one final glance before unceremoniously leaving the room. It takes me a bit to recover my thoughts. Mia is pretty predatory for an herbivore. You know, I actually forgot that she was one. It takes me a bit to recover my thoughts. I never thought Mia would go this far. And Olivia right now, she must be... I stand up from the floor, slowly approaching the alligator. She looks like a mess. Why? Why did you have to come in here? I'm sorry, I was just so worried about what Mia could have been doing to you and I wanted to make sure you were alright. Olivia grips her armrests. I was alright. I had it handled with Mia. But to basically be her slave? Doing all of her work? Not all of it, just whatever she needs to pass. I take the seat next to her. There. She threatened me that she'd go to Scalar and spill everything, and if Scalar knew that I swapped the art, she'd know that it was with you. I couldn't let her do that to us, so I got desperate. I told her I'd do anything she wanted. That's how I got mixed up with her. I let out a deep and heavy sigh. Olivia, I can understand why, but... I heard how Mia was treating you before I came in. Even when you're doing your work to save her skin, she's still treating your art, and more importantly, you, like garbage. My words rip through the Gator girl's fragile heart, her face contorting into a fierce snarl, even as her eyes grow wet. You're miserable. You know that. Olivia looks away from me, her face scrunching up as tears well in her eyes. I don't know what to do. And I don't even know I can trust her to keep her word. And now that you know what's going on, Mia has a noose around both our necks. The gravity of the situation settles in. It feels like something in me is both frozen over and ablaze. There's only 6 months left in the semester. It's not like she's asking for something impossible. Her eyes regain some fire as she smiles. I'll just have to tough it out, keep making art to shut her up until this whole stupid thing can blow over. She's been going through this for so long, and she's still... That's just... I'm out of options, and so is she, so I just blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. Why not tell Scalar about what Mia's making you do? Scalar? Are you out of your mind? You saw how she handles things around here, especially with that auditor breathing down her neck. I'm trying to avoid getting caught. Right. Okay. Iatakan? For a split second, I see her mask crack, her real worry evident in those silver eyes shaking. No. Olivia makes a show of clearing her throat. Mr. Iatakan doesn't need to hear this either. You know he'd be able to... I can do this on my own! Her balled-up fists quake wildly after they slam onto her armrests, and the Gator girl does her best to hide her wince. I really don't think we can fix this if we're not working together. There's nothing to fix! I told you, I have it under control. Just please, Inko, I need you to trust me on this. Don't ruin this for me. I do trust you. Her voice is softening, as if she's been fully drained now. I can handle it. I told you. Her fists unfurl and continue shaking. I take one of her hands, ignoring her indignant sputters as I delicately cradle it in my palm. Her protests die down into a pained whine when my thumb ever so slightly presses down on a joint. All this time you've been doing your best, Olivia. My soft words draw out an even softer breath from her. Mia's had me drawing for her group almost daily. It must hurt a lot after so long. Maybe it does. But it's nothing I can't work through. Why can't you trust me? Why can't you trust me to help then? Trust everyone else. So please stop asking about fixing me. Or fixing things, I mean. Is that what all this is about? Olivia's burning out at this point. Oh no! Lag! Is it back? Okay, good. Nope, lagging some more. Okay, it's getting kind of choppy. I think I'm gonna have to shut this down pretty soon. I'll at least try to get through this scene. Now that you think about it, hippos can be nasty, violent as well, and they're mainly herbivores, rhinos and elephants too, but it's pretty suicidal to fuck with them. Olivia has issues with the word fix and being able to do things on her own. 100%, yeah. She's already hurt badly. I can feel her hand still shaking. It's beyond the point that either of us can handle. I let go of Olivia's hand, watching as she takes watching as she takes back her hand and settles it against her chest. I hook a nearby chair leg with my foot and drag the seat closer. Close enough that I can sit down right next to the baryonyx. Inko? I find that being next to her like this makes it easier for what I'm about to say. Breathe in, breathe out. Meeting her eyes once again, I speak my honest thoughts. Mr. Iadican can help, Olivia. Her teeth grind together, as though contemplating mauling my face off. Please, hear me out. I want to trust you, Inko, but I'm scared that Iadican will hate me forever for this. He's the only one that's ever made me feel like my art is worth something. I can't lose him. Look, we can get you out of this. Of course Iadican will understand, even go to bat for you. Or Axe, in this case. And if you're the one to speak up, it means you're the one getting back at Mia. She won't have power over you. I can't just give it all up like this. How can I trust you with my entire future? You have nothing to lose. I have everything. Can you trust Iadican? Will he really just let that happen? Mia has no reason to not throw you under the bus. Does he? Of course not. Mr. Iadican he's the only teacher that's never given up on me. I'm here with you too. You're not alone, Olivia. But you need to accept our help. Please. Olivia looks me in the eyes for a few seconds before sharply snapping her face downward. Her body then begins to quiver, almost as if she trembles with a mixture of cold and fear. Olivia. I get up from my chair and reach out to grasp her shoulder to try and comfort her somewhat. It's okay. I'm here for you. Olivia's shaking lessens, giving me hope that my words were starting to reach her, but not 2 seconds after those thoughts cross my mind, Olivia's shaking resumes once again. The shaking's followed by sniffling, at which point I notice tears rolling down Olivia's snout and falling right into her lap. Oliv, before I can finish my words, Olivia lunges forward and wraps her arms around my abdomen, bringing me forward and burying her face into my stomach. At which point she begins to let out what I can only describe as a pain-filled wail. At first I'm left utterly frozen in place, hands raised and eyes wide. Nothing in my life has ever prepared me for a situation such as this. No, Inko, you know what to do. Hug that gator. I place my other hand on Olivia's other shoulder and slowly take a single knee, bringing me to eye level with her. Then without saying a word, I tighten my embrace, allowing her arms to wrap around my neck as I wrap my arms around hers. 2. My waist pulled closer to by her boa-like tail that's become an impromptu belt, harnessing me to the gator girl. There's a distinct thumping on my chest, rhythmic and relaxing. The realization that it's her heart sets my face ablaze, but also brings a smile to my lips. I close my eyes and let myself become lost in the warmth of Olivia's embrace. When we break apart, I check on our time limit. Alright, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here for now. That way the next stream opens up with the cool animated sequence. Inko, I don't have nothing to lose. I'm worried about losing the most important thing in my life right now. You. Damn. That would have been a good line. Alright. Time to wrap up the stream. Thanks to everybody who showed up. It's good to see you guys again. Andrew Parsons, Brody, Scout Waffle. I hope your game is going well. Good luck getting that Battlefield achievement. Doodle Deer. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.